Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? I am very good. Very, very good. So let's check in and see what's happening today. So I like starting with gold. Let's get to the point. Gold has been up. Again, all this is a derivative paper, silver, and gold price, not the physical. And at 5 o'clock, it's at 23.29. It got to 23.32 today. Again, the derivative down, the put down to 23.07. And then they started to buy and they got it up to 23.32 times 1,000 contracts. They make some money. That's why they do it. That's the bottom line. That's why they do it. It has nothing to do with the price of gold and silver. It has nothing. We could all go and buy 5 tons of gold. All of us. Wouldn't affect the price at all. This is basically just paper price derivative. So with that being said, and we understand it, that's why it doesn't pay to get frustrated. The key is the dollar being printed to death and all the BRICS countries getting out of the dollar, so the demand will drop and the price will drop. So you're getting out of this because it's losing value. So what do you do in something losing? Okay, let's say it's Coca-Cola stock and it's at $60, and now it's on its way down to 40, and they have bad earnings, and then they find out Coke's really bad for you. They acid and everything, and now the stock's going down. What do you keep the stock, or do you get out of the stock? You sell the stock. The difference is you look for, I'll go into Amazon or Apple or whatever. But in here, your choice is I got to get out of here because this is losing money terribly. But your only option is this. This is your only option where you could get out of Coke and buy, Fruit Loops or the Lucky Charms, or you can buy Miracle Whip or Heinz ketchup. You can get out of it, or you can buy Apple and whatever. You can do that, but you can't. In money, your options are nothing. The first option is, I'll buy euros. Same thing. I'll buy British pounds. Same thing. Swiss francs. Egon's guys. Same thing. And that's what you realize, is that all of this paper is worthless because it's not backed by anything. It's all called MMT. It's all that's Keynesians. They think they can just keep printing and printing and printing. That's the mess we got ourselves into. Now, why are these people in charge? You can thank George Soros for that, unfortunately. Why is he making any decisions? He's a Nazi. He was 10 years old when the Nazis there. Now he's like 90 years old. So, I don't think he'll be around much longer. But that's the problem, where he is upset that the Germans lost. So this is his revenge. And we're all fucked basically because this guy's getting his revenge. He fixes elections. He puts judges and other key lawmakers that are communist or think like him, Nazis, in charge. They don't obey the laws. They don't. JP Morgan was implicit in Madoff because he had the bank account in JP Morgan, $10 billion. I take 10 grand out of my bank account and it's like, okay, hands against the wall. What are you doing with the money? Where he had billions of dollars at JP Morgan. They didn't even question him. So you can see how corrupt it is, unfortunately. But we must understand these are the rules that we have. We understand the corruption. There's nothing we can do. We're on the other side of it, so we just try to bear with it. Anyway, silver is at 29.54, gold at 23.29, and again, we know this is not a real price. This in no way is 23.29. This is at least at a zero. There's at least $23,000 with the demand, and if you let a fair price and a physical price, there's not that much of it, right? So by doing the derivatives, they make it like there's another, all they need is 4% physical and 96% fantasy. So if the price goes down, it's on way more gold than there is. Oh, there's 1,000,000 ounces or 1,000,000 tons. No, there's not. So that's part of what they do, and they get the price down, and that's part of the problem. So once we just got to a physical, if we're only counting these, what's the price? It's in the 20,000s very easily, because it's also the psychology of it. So we bet football. So let's take a football game. So it's the psychology of the Bears playing Tennessee. You're going to take the Bears because Caleb's on the team. So the psychology is you think Caleb's good. You don't know he's not, but you think he is. So you're going to bet the Bears. The psychology, and the line goes from 3 to 6. That's psychology. It's not that the Bears are any better. It's, Caleb's going to have a big game. Just like that Notre Dame game when he forgot to show up for it. It's the same thing. That's my point. And so that's the psychology. Well, if gold at 23.30, the psychology is, oh shit, it's not going anywhere, or it's look, it goes down a little bit, or it doesn't really move. Why would I buy it? Because you're looking at derivative pricing that is keeping the price down. You're not looking at the actual free market like you get on eBay of this card. This card, I guarantee, is 2,500, 3,000. So what would you rather have, this card or this? I mean, it's a joke. So for this to have $2,500 value because there's 50 and it's Mahomes, you don't think there's more demand for this? Now, there's not 50. There's more than 50 printed. But you can get the idea. On a free market basis, this has more value than this being trapped in a paper derivative market. And that's the problem. But there's so many derivatives out. There's a lot of people going to lose their ass in it. See, I didn't lose my ass in 2008. I wasn't in the stock market. I didn't play real estate trust because I knew it was all phony. Because I read in 1997 when Jimmy Clinton goes ahead and passes this law that everybody should be able to afford a house, and no matter what their credit rating is, don't worry, banks, if they default, we'll reimburse you. So it was all based on a bullshit government thing by Jimmy Clinton. So I knew that, so I didn't get involved with it. And like I said, I've told you stories where my brother-in-law was in Madoff, where I'm getting 14%. And how are you doing that when the rate's 3%? Well, it's on strip malls. It's like just bullshit. You're okay. You're talking to the professor. I ain't buying it. I don't buy what you're cooking. And that was kind of it in a nutshell. I'm smart enough to understand when it's bullshit, and I don't like it. So that's what you have to understand, so you don't get bothered by this. But you can't stay in this. Here's the argument. Well, I'll stay here, or I'll keep the money in the bank. Now, thinking and analyzing, why do you keep the money in the bank? Because it's safe. It's physically safe and psychologically safe. Nobody's breaking into my house, stealing my money. It's at Chase. But what you don't realize is the money in the bank isn't worth anything, but it's in the bank. So you got $200,000 in the bank, so you feel safe, but you don't realize but the money is not worth anything. So you're slowly losing the money the value of the money in there because of the inflation, which you don't know because all they tell you is its price is going up. So you're getting fucked all over the place, but you don't know it. And they'll blame Putin. Not our, we didn't print the money to zero. That's not how you ruin it. No. It was the oil companies that raised their prices. And, we need regulations in place. I mean, it's all bullshit. It's got nothing to do with anything. It's the government has a monopoly that they shouldn't have on printing money. It should never be the government. It should be private sector. And there should never be a monopoly on money. It should be different banks having it. And all the money should be backed by this. It shouldn't be backed by a promise that the government's going to actually do something correctly, which we all know is impossible. So that's the problem. So you psychologically feel safe that your money, you finally saved 200 grand and you made money in the stock market that if you sold it, which I doubt, you'd have the money in the bank. Well, why have it in the bank? Because, wait a minute, I want to keep it in the stock market because I can make money. The bank doesn't pay anything. So you never really take your money out. So you never really win anything, even though you win $100,000 on Microsoft. Until you sell it and take the money, you didn't win anything. That's the best part I like about football. I start off with a $10,000 bankroll, and I'm betting 100 a game, and then every weekend it's settled. Okay, now I'm up to $12,000, or I'm down to $8,000, and then I'm up to $14,000, and it's settled. And now I make my bets for this week, and I rate, okay, I'm up to $14,000. Now my $100 bets are $150 bets. But every weekend it's settled. Okay, you won this, you lost this. Put it back into the bankroll, then that's it. And if there's no games to bet, you don't bet. If there's really good games to bet, then we bet them. And we bet more on them because we're building the bankroll. But every week we settle. You got stocks that you're sitting there or Bitcoin and you're never settling it. Well, I'm up 50,000. Well, take it. People, the stupidest thing I know about people with Bitcoin is they don't ever take the profit. You ever go to the casino? You ever play blackjack or craps or baccarat or poker? Do you not at some point take the money and put it in your pocket? Or do you just play the whole night until you lose it all? So why don't you do that with Bitcoin? It's the same mentality. You gambled on Bitcoin, and if you win on Bitcoin, take your profit. So it's just amazing. But people are very foolishly, they're scared. Most people are scared, and most people, especially the older ones with the Great Depression and the 1929 stock market crash. Give me my 3% in the bank. Thank you very much. That's all I want. That's what you get there. And they want safety. They don't want to lose. I don't want to lose either. But my way, we're not going to lose. This is Lock City here. We aren't losing anything because we understand that this price is paper and we don't have to worry about it. 23.29, add a zero. You add a zero, that's the price of physical gold. You can be naive and think, oh, the paper price is going down. No, it's the derivatives. It's not even anything to do with physical gold. Nothing. So once you understand that and you stop being scared and thinking your money's safe in the bank and you realize that this is worthless, so all the money in the bank's worthless, and my stocks are worthless. Once you understand all that and you ignore CNBC or one MSNBC, whatever, with the stocks ticker and everything. I was watching that today. I was at the gold store. So what I did was I have these. These are Maple Leaf ounces. And I have Cougarans and I have US Eagles. And from what I'm seeing, they're in bigger containers. So I went and bought the little containers. So I'm going to put the rest of my Maple Leafs in here. And then I'm going to see the bigger ones don't fit. So the bigger coins are like this. They're like in these plastics, and these plastics don't fit in here, but the maple leaves are made smaller. They're not as wide, and therefore they fit. So partly for protection, how hard is it to, I'm on the airplane, I can easily hide this, or if I'm walking around Switzerland, this goes in my front pocket. Nobody knows I have it, and I don't know how many ounces I can get in here, probably 12 or 13, and nobody knows I got it, and it's very safe and compact, as opposed to walking around, like I said, with the big thing of silver. I mean, you need 5 of these, will give you 100 ounces. But with 10 gold ounces, it's worth a lot more, and look how easy it is to carry it. Plus, going through the airport, I'm much more content probably putting this in my carry-on and burying it under, a tuna fish sandwich or something. And I doubt they'll even notice this because they're not looking for this. They're looking for weapons. So I think I'll try it. I think we can get this through and put it in the pocket and nobody knows shit. And that's what we want to do. Now, at the gold store today, they're talking about, I'm asking the guy why the half ounce eagle is $13.77 and the half ounce maple leaf is $12.77. I go, you're $100 higher. What's going on? So it's demand because people think that when you get the 1099, they won't tax the eagles, but they will tax the other. So it's really a U.S. thing only. And I said, well, I've read that if I have quarter ounces and half ounces, they're not going to tax them anyway. And I'm not really worried about this 1 ounce maple leaf. But I do have eagles. So if you're not going to 1099 my eagles, well, okay, I'll go through those first. To me, this gold's gold, right? When gold hits 10,000 an ounce, this is 10,000 an ounce. Now, am I going to have to pay tax on it? Well, it's not American money, so I don't see how I would. I don't know what they're going to do with gold as far as the 1099. There's different dollar amounts. I've tried reading up on it, and at first, maple leaf Krugerrands, there is no tax on it, only the American, because that's not considered American money. Then now I'm not sure what the eagles, are they going to tax the eagles? They're trying to call it collectibles. Nah, it's money. It's not a collectible. There's a big difference between this and this being collectibles. Okay, this is a collectible, right? Mahomes. This is not a collectible. This is real money. This is gold. How is this a collectible? This is not. So I don't know what the fuck they're thinking, but this should be, I don't know that you'll have to pay tax. We'll find out a little bit later, but right now at 2,300, you're not paying tax on anything because it's like a $10,000 limit, I think. I don't even know what the limit is, so you can cash it in now, and I don't think there's 1099 issues. I certainly wouldn't file a 1099. And if I got one now, I would say, well, I paid $2,300 for it, and I'm selling it for, I didn't make any money. Again, it's on the profit. So unless you bought it in 1971 for $37, or maybe you bought it 2008, 2007 when it was $250, more than likely you're paying $1,300, you're selling it for 20, so you maybe making 800. That's all you'll pay tax on. Now, when this does hit 20,000, is there even going to be money around? Is this even going to be existing? So what am I going to pay tax on? What did I make? This doesn't exist. So what I paid for it doesn't matter. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to take all my maples, put them in these, put them in the whites, and they're all in the safe, but I think it's easier. And if I have to travel with it or do anything with it, it's much more secure. It's much easier to have 10 ounces in this than just kind of have it in my hand or I have it in a bag. So I think this is a good idea. I mean, normally I just put my silver in it, and then all of a sudden I had the light went on. I said, why don't I put my gold in it? So I put my quarters in it. So I got 12 quarters in two of these, which is 3 ounces. So I got 6 ounces of quarter, quarter ounce gold in these. I put all my 10th ounces in. I have 22 of them. So that's, what's another 2 ounces of 10th ounces. And then I'll put these half ounces in, and I'll put my maple leafs in. Like I said, the Krugerrand, the Philharmonics, and the dollars are this size, and I can't fit it. Now the guy said, see, it's too big. So the guy said at Walmart, there's a red tube thing. So you see how this won't fit? So there's a red tube at Walmart that's wider that I think I can fit it in. So I'm going to take a look next time I go to Walmart and try to get it there. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. So gold's waiting for you. It's still cheap. I still go. I still jump up and down like Herman Munster when I get it, and the building shakes. And it's still exciting because you're getting real money that is going to explode in value. You have the like I said yesterday, the petrodollar. It's not gone per se. Saudi Arabia did not re-sign the agreement, so apparently it comes due. What are we in, June 18th or whatever? It comes due. And when it comes due, they re-up it, right? So it's like the TV contracts with football. They just renew it. Well, the Saudis didn't renew it now. They don't want the dollar. They didn't renew the petrodollar, which said they have to take all their oil they had to sell in dollars. That's not the case anymore. They're taking other currencies, not just the dollar. So the U.S. can still buy oil from Saudi, although we don't want oil anymore. That'll work. Back to the Stone Age if we don't take oil. But all the other countries now don't have to waste their time buying dollars to buy oil. They can just buy oil in their own currency, which is going to lead to gold, because what does Saudi want? Fucking Indian rupees, which are worthless, or Japan yen, which are worthless. I mean, where Zimbabwe or Venezuela's got oil. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just inflating it terribly. Well, they're Russian, but Venezuela. So basically what you have is a lot of countries with worthless dollars. So you're going to have these Saudi Arabia wanting gold for it. Which is going to push the price of gold. Anything that increases the demand for gold makes the price go up once we get rid of this stupid paper game. So that's what's going to happen. So stay stoic. Understand this is paper, not physical. And we're just waiting. Luke, Bobby, just wait for the real to come out and you'll be fine. So the petrodollar is gone. 50 countries want to join BRICS and get out of the dollar. So all the demand's going away from the dollar, which makes the price go down. If there's no demand, that's it. And and here comes BRICS, and everybody wants gold because they know that's the out. It's funny how we're the smart country and we're idiots. And here's Russia and China aren't the smart country, and they know enough to buy gold, and Saudi Arabia and everything. So all these countries realize to buy gold, and we're sitting there and we don't. Now, again, I was watching Luke Kregman yesterday, Luke, whatever his name is. And we got, what did he say? 260 million tons of gold. Assuming we have 8,000 tons It- 260,000 ounces of gold, which is the 8,000 tons. You always know it's a scam when they won't say tons, they'll say the smaller number to make it sound good. Oh, we got 300 million ounces of gold. Oh, so you mean we got 9,000 tons? Well, wait, China's got 60,000 tons, and you're trying to make it sound like we got a lot at 9,000, at 8,000 or whatever. So it just sounds better than 8,000. That's big red flag scam. Whenever they talk like that, it's a scam. It's totally political. It's very liberal, very communistic. Makes it sound better, right? Oh, I got a million of something versus 8,000, even though they're worth the exact same because a ton has 32,000 ounces of gold. But with that said, we don't have the gold. What are you talking about? How can you say definitively we have it? They don't show you, right? They don't show you the vault at Fort Knox. So how do you know it's there? And if it is there, it's not our gold anyway. It's sold to China's. It's China's gold. China bought it from us, $200 an ounce probably. So just the fact there is gold there doesn't mean it's our gold. So anyway, just understand all that. What you're doing is protecting yourself. Really, the problem is this going to zero because they're printing. Because the MMT guys say, "Oh, we can print as much as we want." No, that kills the value. Go ask the fucking Romans, the French, the Spanish, the English, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, the Germans. Ask anybody you want. You print and print and print, it goes to zero. That's it. That's the bottom line. So you're trying to protect yourself. So you're backed up into a corner. Like I said, it's like Coca-Cola stock dropping from 60 to 30, and then you find out it kills people, and you find out the president of Coke is sick and he's stepping down. You want to still be in Coca-Cola, or you want to sell and go into something else? Do you want to still be in the dollar, or do you want to change it for something else? This is your Titanic. This is your lifeboat. And that's it. Or silver. That's it. It's a very simple thing. You're protected. This is your protection. Um, I was watching this movie, Stardust. I love that movie. And it's all witches and stuff. And a really cool movie. And the boy gets a white flower. He doesn't know what it is. He thinks it's just good luck. And it's protection from the witch turning him into a toad or whatever. So again, it's protection. Think of this as the white flower. This is your protection. But not only that, you can't hold this gone to zero. You get protection with this, and it's going to go up 20, 30 times at least. And then when this goes out, everything will be priced in this. And no, you're not going to take this to the grocery store. I hate that. What is that? The moron's answer to this? What are you going to take? You're going to take gold and silver to the grocery store? The grocery store won't have anything priced in the eggs will not be priced in this when this is gone. So as long as this is there, eggs are priced at $2-3. You use your credit card, your debit card. When this is gone, eggs are not going to be priced at $3. They're going to be priced at whatever the level medium of exchange is. So either we have a new dollar backed by gold, if we have this 8,000 tons of gold, which we know we don't have, or yes, I will be bringing silver into the grocery store, but things will be priced in silver, and I'll have silver in the cashier. Again, at the place today, I'll show you what I took a picture. So if we look at it, these are quarter ounce silver on the bottom, the 8. These are tenth of an ounce silver. These are 350, and these are like 850. So these are quarter ounce and tenth of an ounce. So they're already thinking you're going to go to the grocery store with tenth of an ounces. No, because everything will be priced in silver, and you'll take your ounce and this will be your change, the quarter ounces and the tenth of an ounce. So you'll price your eggs at a quarter ounce of silver or a tenth of an ounce in silver. You go in with the change here. So you don't freak out and, oh, I need barter and all that. There will not be barter. Barter is selling this for 4 tires, right? Barter is selling this for a set of golf clubs. That's what barter is. You're not using money. But wait a minute, we have money, so we're not going to barter. That's what these people are just so freaking stupid on these YouTube channels. Anyway. So, nice little rant there, but it was a very good rant. It was informative. See, I try to explain it so you understand it, not, well, the ring fence got ringed and this got wrong and ring on ring and, and you're like, Mark McGuire, what are you talking about? I mean, I find that I can't listen to him. I have to watch it twice because I'm like, my mind starts wandering as he gets off on his little rant of what the fuck are you talking that I don't understand. I got a master's in this, and if I don't understand you, nobody understands you. And a lot of it's a little bit of banking. Okay, let's go to baseball. Basketball, like I said, I stayed away from the game yesterday. I saw really what's going to happen. Dallas loses game 3. They win game 4. Boston probably could have cared less. Boston starts thinking, well, we'll win in game 5, and that's what they did. And they won by 18, and they covered the 6. I had no idea. And, had I watched the whole game and the whole series and the whole playoffs, I probably could have bet Boston. I can't even find it. I don't know when it's on, and I really don't care. There's no Magic, Bird, Kareem, so what do I care for? I guess LeBron had his most points, which is so gilded because you're taking 3-point shots. Kareem hit a bunch of 2-point shots. He didn't stand there behind this. That would be today's NBA. Kareem would be taking 3-point shots instead of a skyhook. No, thank you. I'll take a 95% skyhook over your 10% 3-point shots. All right. Let's look at yesterday. Very strong day. I was very proud of myself. So on Monday, we have Philadelphia to win. We're not fucking with the over-unders. Philadelphia to win. We win. We have Pittsburgh to win because of their pitcher. It wins. We have St. Louis. They come from behind and win. We got Boston over 7.5. They got like a 12-run game. We have Atlanta, which is down 1-0 and comes back and wins 2-1. Because the Tiger manager pulled this Reese Olson guy in the 7th. And then in the 8th and 9th, Atlanta scores and they lose because the manager's got his head up his ass. The only game we lost was the Cubs under 10 because I had 2 good pitchers going. And then the problem is it was like a 3-2 game going into the 7th inning. I'm going, I got this. No, then I got bullpen. I got Madoff in the bullpen, and it was like 3 runs. It was like 10 runs scored. In the 7th, 8th, and 9th, they scored 10 runs. So it went over a couple of home runs and stuff like that. But that's the problem with your bullpens. That's why it's hard to bet because you only get 5 or 6 innings with the starters unless it's Verlander. And then what do? Now you get the 8th and 9th, and these managers are so stupid. I don't get the managers. The managers sit there and they automatic, you're close to 100 pitches. I'm going to pull you. It's the 7th inning. I'm going to pull you. The guy had a no-hitter for Houston on Sunday. In the 7th inning, he hasn't thrown 100 pitches. He takes him out. And, of course, they give up 3 hits and a run. So it's 4-1 in the top of the 9th instead of a no-hitter going. What are they thinking? The guy's arm has pitched. He's not pitching for 5 days. Surely if he pitched 120 pitches, he'd be fine. and he's pumped up because he's got a no-hitter going. What are you pulling it? I mean, this is just ridiculous now. This is why it's unwatchable. It's you can't even root for a no-hitter. Oh, maybe you'll throw a no-hitter. No, he's going to get pulled after 7 because the manager's got his head up his ass because, he might hurt his arm. Well, then why did you let him pitch the 7th inning and the 6th inning? And why didn't you pull him after 3 innings? He might get hurt. Are we managing so he might get hurt? Or are we managing to win? Clearly, they're not managing to win. All right, so big day yesterday. I go 4-1 on my 5 units, so I go plus 15 units. Happy days. Stay away from the baskets. And like I said, I might have taken Dallas based on them winning game 4, but, when their backs were against the wall in game 3, left me no faith to take him in game 5, and the game was at Boston, so I didn't touch it. All right, it's 5:45. We got a 6:10 game and then 7:00 games. All right, 6:40 games. All right, so let's go to Major League Baseball. We got St. Louis and Miami. St. Louis is a 140 favorite, over under 8. Lance Lynn, 2-3 with the 3.75. Roddery Munoz, 1-2 with the 4.56. What do we do with this crap? So instead of just taking it over, we're not. We're not going to play it. Maybe we'll come back to it, but I don't see a value. Now, I could look and see if there's a pitching streak or a team streak. I think St. Louis has been pretty hot. So maybe think about taking them, but they came from behind and won like 8-7 yesterday. So Miami hit them. So I'm not interested in this game. Again, there's too many baseball games every day that you must be more like yesterday. I had 5 plays. Okay, that's probably more than I should have, but I got away with the Atlanta and the St. Louis games. Games I thought were easy, Atlanta, and it wasn't that easy. All right. Seattle at Cleveland. Now we're at 640. Cleveland 135, 8.5. Bryce Miller, 5-5 with a 3.48 for Seattle. Tristan McKenzie, 3-3 with a 4.10 for Cleveland. What do you want to do with it? I don't want to do anything with it. See, again, you've got the crap pitchers. You don't know what you're getting. Do you go over? Well, if we look at the bullpen, Seattle 375 and they hit 222. They don't hit. Not a great bullpen. Cleveland's got not the best, but the better pitchers is Bryce Miller, and Cleveland is 235 ERA, so they got a great bullpen and 240. So based on the bullpen, I can't bet the game over. I would think Cleveland wins at home. Cleveland is a much better team, 44-25, but Seattle's 43-31 if we go by record. We got to go by matchup. So I would think Cleveland wins this game, but I don't like the starting pitcher at a 4.10. Let's look at the starter. Let's look at Tristan McKenzie. Probably related to Big Tex McKenzie, the wrestler. Out of Brooklyn. Bobby, you know this guy? Tristan McKenzie out of Brooklyn? Probably one of your neighbors. And this guy, a bunch of 5 innings, a couple of 6, 1-7, a couple of 4s and a 3. His last 5 games, he's given up 0 runs. That's today. All right, he's given up 2 runs, 5 runs, 4, 3, 1. Wait, this guy's straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you do with this guy? I mean, this is the problem. Very inconsistent. So I can't touch the guy. I'm not going to bet Tex McKenzie's cousin here. All right, San Diego, Philly. We know Philly's the better team, minus 168.5. Michael King for San Diego, 5-4. Hey, Luke, you've been busy with work and travel. Gold's been I did a whole paper gold thing on it. You remember the movie Trading Places, right? That's what's happening now. When it gets high, they're putting put options in where they're selling the gold high to buy it low. That's all. But then they go ahead when it's down and then they buy it and then they sell it a little bit higher. So every time it gets high, they're going to do these sell options, but it's only paper. Nobody's talking physical gold. We're only talking the whole COMEX is just paper. It's Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd. It's all they're doing. They're just setting price with paper. So what you got to understand is the petrodollar is gone, right? Well, think about it. Saudi Arabia does not want rubies, rupees, Indian yuan and yen and all the rubles. They don't want bullshit. They want gold for their oil. So the demand for gold is going to go up because they want it. And the COMEX is being blown up because they can't keep doing these derivatives without physical gold. And then you have the BRICS announcing gold, which I showed you. If you need, I can re-show it to you today. But they basically October meeting in Kazan, it's already announced. They're rolling it out, and there's another 40 countries. They want to join BRICS. So it's a hell of a lot of people buying gold. That'll blow up the COMEX anyway, but that's where it's at. You asked mine from yesterday. Okay, I will show you. There's a Mark McGuire one, which shows him talking about BRICS, and we'll go there when I'm done with baseball. But that's it's done. Basically, COMEX is done because you have to have physical to do the derivative in the first place, even though you leverage. So, like if you have, 4 ounces of gold leverages 100 ounces of gold. So if you have, if you have 40,000 ounces, you're controlling, 1,000,000 ounces of gold. But if you don't have the gold at all, you can't do that transaction. So it's just about done. And then why are they doing it? Because they make money on the Eddie Murphy derivatives. So if they buy gold at 23.50 or they sell it at 23.50 and it goes to 23.10, then they buy the derivative, they make $40 on 1,000 contracts. Why would they stop? They're only going to stop when they run out of physical gold because China's sitting there going, we want to take delivery. And so every time COMEX does this, they take delivery, and there's not a lot of gold left for JP Morgan to do this with. That's why it's going to end. Silver, unfortunately, doesn't have that rule in effect, so silver is going to keep playing games. But if you understand its derivative and you understand its paper, you ever see that movie, The Big Short? And they did Selena Gomez at the blackjack table, and she had 18 and the dealer had a 6 up. And then people behind Selena Gomez were betting on Selena Gomez to win. And then people behind them were betting if they would win if they would win their derivative bet. And that's what it is. There's so many of these derivatives on derivatives on derivatives that these people are going to lose trillions of dollars. But what don't people aren't going to lose is gold, people. Yeah. So you remember the Selena Gomez in Vegas at the blackjack table. And then people betting on her, and then people betting on the people that bet on her. And then I love it. She ends up losing. The guy turns over a 5 for, you didn't have 16, he had 11, and then it gets 21. Yes, and that's why everybody's going to go broke, except for us, because we don't do derivatives. We do gold. So in case you missed the beginning, what I'm doing is the maple leafs are smaller ounces than the U.S. The U.S. are this size, and it's too big to fit into the container. You can see the difference. So what I did was I went to the gold store today and I got a bunch of these. They just give them to me because I spent so much money. So they gave me these, and I have these maple leaves. So I am going to put all my maple leaves in this, and these fit nicely into my silver thing, where my Cougarans and my US won't fit. So I'm going to put it in here. How easy is it going to be on the plane with one of these full of gold and silver? And that's it. Just put it in my pocket and that's it. So I came up with that plan to like kind of say, here, so I'll put it in my carry on and hide it, like I said, and nobody will know, and off I go. So that's my master plan now. And then I can really store it. It's how hard is it to store this? And nobody will ever find it. I mean, come on. So that's where I'm at. But yes, the derivatives are in like quadruple or quad, what's after trillion. And that's what's happening. And they're all going to go boom because these idiots don't understand the dollar is gone, right? And all these countries joining BRICS, the value in the dollar, all these people, Saudi Arabia doesn't want to get paid in dollars. They didn't sign the petrodollar, so that's gone. So now they want to get paid in gold, which demand goes up, price goes up. They're gonna want a lot of money in gold for their oil. Not you think they want this bullshit? Yeah, it's say $80 a barrel. Yeah, you're out of your mind. I want a half ounce of gold for it. I'm getting frustrated with the wait. I think the new system will be implemented with the next president. Well, you got to be stoic because you understand what we're waiting for is BRICS. The gold-backed currency will come out before the election. It's going to come out in October. Let's go through that now. I'll show you Mark McGuire. This ought to help you. All right, so Mark McGuire.
Now is the time to take advantage of the power of gold and silver to grow your wealth. Whether you're in this is the unseen mammoth.
So Mark McGuire is calling for $10,000 gold, right? And so let me get you to the BRICS part. Well, I'll take you to, he does a little one on silver, and then he gets to
silver. What are you seeing in silver? Well, I was waiting for that, Shane. While the spot silver is not, as we know, Basel III NSFR compliant, it does not require the liquidity providers offerings to one-to-one represent physical bullion, which has been the problem. The recent shortened T+1 settlement window, because silver is a foreign exchange cross, it touches the dollar, it has to be T+1 deliverable too. Now that they're being settled outside the LBMA cartel's ring fence, this effect is opening up an arbitrage opportunity. It's just too large to be ignored. These massive premiums over ring fence cash settled LBMA silver is driving some very large outside money into physical silver to source physical silver and capitalize on a $4 premium per ounce being commanded into a huge surge of officially incentivized Chinese retail demand. Now, with Beijing consuming all Chinese gold production for years to come, the outsourced retail shortage of physical gold has driven the gold price higher and led the Chinese government to begin a media campaign urging approximately 1.8 billion citizens to purchase silver instead of gold.
Driving demand up.
Our liquidity providers see some cartel members splitting rank here. And why would you not want to capitalize on this massive opportunity? Now, while gold has been steady Indian central bank demand, price-sensitive retail gold demand has dwindled, shifting the focus to silver, which is competing with Chinese demand, creating shortages, and with silver now widely viewed as cheap, sub 36 bucks, we can see a coiled rally starting to unfold. You're not seeing it today. You're seeing uncertainty of FOMC being gained.
Andrew, can you update us on any new developments relating to the BRICS gold-backed currency? We've got a lot of questions coming in from our community members about this.
Yes, Shane. Following what we recently reported on the successful conclusion of the beta testing of Glasnev's 40 to 45% physically backed blockchain currency, which very loosely takes the form of the unit linked here. But it's actually adjusted to ensure that it is going to be ring-fenced outside of Western influence. And coming off last week's St. Petersburg Economic Forum, engaging the direct participation of the president of the BRICS New Development Bank, Dilma Rousseff, the final agreed structure will be agreed fully in September at the New Development Bank meeting in Shanghai for the formal launch, really ahead of the formal launch of at the Kazan BRICS Summit in October. The currency is scheduled to be launched ahead of the US elections, and this imminent timeline has accelerated BRICS central bank gold buying. So reports you hear of China central bank no longer buying gold, it's what they officially report. Of course, they don't want to be seen to be buying, but you cannot hide what they're doing from a monetary gold perspective, which is completely unreported. So really, these de-dollarizing moves have just not gone unnoticed by Western central banks operating under the BIS umbrella. They're not stupid. And while the BIS has been working on a central bank digital currency stablecoin since way back 2021, they'd assumed the proposed BRICS currency would take the form of just an SDR-like FX currency, incorporating a blend of largely emerging market currencies. Now, due to these inherent trade imbalances, they figured a viable BRICS non-dollar denominated currency was at a minimum 5 years away, providing time for the BIS to create the central bank digital currency that would absorb and control these non-dollar based currencies. Now, they're not banked on Glasnev's option 2, which is a polycentric gold and hard commodity backed currency being developed and tested in such short order, completely underestimating the progress timelines as they now wake up to an unfactored hegemonic threat to the Western central banks, bringing forward really the BIS efforts to get in the act by issuing a CBDC, which will be partly backed by gold. Now, we looked at this BIS proposal when it was first proposed back in October 2022. And you can see here, and as we assessed at the time, it was no coincidence that this was the exact moment when the BIS concluded the squaring and buying back and de-risking the decades-old 500 to 700 tons of high counterparty risk derivative bets. Now, we drew particular attention to this notable event just before gold was revalued by the BIS as a first-year asset class on the 1st of January 2023. This was the exact moment when the BIS and its European-facing central banks diverged from the Fed's mandate of suppressing FX gold against the dollar. In fact, we noted at the time every single central bank except the Fed went long gold. Over the 2 years, this so-called Enbridge central bank digital currency has been tested. On Wednesday, June the 5th, it formally reached the minimum viable product stage, inviting further international participation. Now, Project Enbridge is the result of collaboration between the Bank of International Settlements, Bank of Thailand, the Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates, Digital Currency Institute of the People's Bank of China, Hong Kong Monetary Authority, Saudi Central Bank. But there are also more than 26 observing members. Some of them are Western-based. Now, Project Enbridge is now inviting private sector firms to propose new solutions and use cases that help develop the platform and showcase all its potential interested firms, and all the potential interested firms have been invited to apply to participate. This is a bit of Band-Aid. this is, whatever way you look at it, this is a central bank digital currency. And while the BIS-backed currency seeks to support the use of local currency, it ultimately provides the bridge into a largely renminbi-backed alternate currency. Now, we see this as an interim bridge, which is geared to be adopted by Western central banks. And in fact, to be a short-term, it might be short-term helpful in underpinning the percentage of gold that is ultimately agreed to back the stablecoin. But, and this is a huge but, it has a serious flaw. It does not escape the increasing range of weaponized US sanctions against the major Sino-Russian alliance, which would deeply affect the BRICS members. Now, the only viable solution to provide a growing number of BRICS nations a sanction-proof means of exchange is Glasgow's fully beta-tested currency, which will be formally launched in October at the BRICS summit. So in the meantime, we will continue to evidence central banks, first-tier bullion banks, divesting treasuries alongside buying gold in anticipation that a gold-backed currency is going to emerge in one form or another. And this will provide a tailwind for safe haven gold and silver. Well, really, what are these episodes about? It's really, we're trying to provide a look under the covers so that you can dig beneath the smoke and mirrors generated action. It helps to provide some clarity so you can weigh the wholesale market view against the short-term chart-painted synthetic action, which I hope will enable you to make better gold and silver wealth protection choices. Not just about making money here. This is about
bullshit protection. It is.
And actually, this is where I always defer to Robert Kiyosaki's.
Can't stand that guy. So I get to your questions, but so what it's saying is you have option A, you hold this, and option B, you buy this. And if you need money, you can sell this to get this back. But why? This is worthless. You can't print 150 trillion of this and think it's got a value. And with all these people getting off of now the petrodollar is no longer, and they don't need it, guess what? All the money comes back because nobody needs the dollar anymore. Well, you can't print all that and have any value left with your currency. Ask the Germans and ask Venezuela and ask Zimbabwe and ask the Romans. It doesn't work. And we know it. It's Austrian economics 501. You print it, it goes to zero. So that's your first choice. And you've done that. You've gotten out of that. And now you're in this. And now you're waiting for it to go up. Well, you shouldn't be frustrated. You should be like happy that you've made the right move and you're into this. And you can't lose because you have the physical. As he said, in October, which is only a few months away, they're going to roll out the gold-backed currency. We know Saudi Arabia wants gold for their oil. That's the first thing. So, of course, it's going to go. All the central banks need to buy gold, and there's another 40 countries wanting to join BRICS. They're all going to need gold because they're going to need for the gold-backed currency. So if you understand it like that, which I know you do, don't get frustrated. Again, this is not stock. This is not Amazon, right? So yes, Amazon stock goes up and down based on earnings. There is no earnings in this. This is much better. This can't lose, right? Like I said, Coca-Cola, if you're in Coca-Cola stock and it's at 50 and then it drops to 30 because they find that you get cancer by drinking the crap, and the CEO or the president is sick and he's stepping down and the stock's going to go to 10, do you stay in it? No, you get out of it. Well, that's the dollar. This is the other stock. So you're in this so you don't lose any money when the banks collapse and the banks won't give you your money and the stock market collapses because everybody's getting rid of dollars, and you'll be sitting in this. And so you'll avoid all the bad with the banks and the stock market. And that's going to drive the price up. But you can see the derivative game, the Eddie Murphy game, where it hit 2,400, I'm going to sell, and then it goes down to 2,300 because they're selling the derivative and then buying it. So in derivatives, Options, you can sell first and buy later, or buy first and sell. Stocks you normally buy, although you can sell them short. So I could sell Coke at 50 and buy it at 30, and that's what the derivatives are. So we get that, right? That's what's happening. But this is a fake price because this is a derivative price. This is a paper price. This is not this being bought and sold. And that's what we're looking for. And hopefully we get it with BRICS, with the gold backed currency. They're going to need a much higher gold price. So that's really where you'll see it. Now, to read yours, you're getting frustrated with the weight well, because you can't look at it as a stock or Bitcoin or anything like that. It's gold. It's being held down because they can't just let it fly yet. The U.S. is holding on because they know their dollar. They know this is shit, and the only way is, well, if gold goes to 10,000 an ounce, nobody will want the dollar, I guess, which I don't buy. I think they'll still want the dollar. But that's what you have. So you're fighting, the U.S. is fighting us, and they're saying, no, we can't let the gold price go up. And now they're losing it, and there's not much else they can do because the Chinese keep buying all the gold that they have to make the derivative bets. There's not a lot left, so it's slowly ending. But you can see who's fighting us. So the U.S. is fighting because all they have is dollars. They don't have any gold. There's no 300 million ounces of gold in Fort Knox. Are they kidding me? So that's not real. So they don't have it. So they don't want gold. If gold goes up, the Russians, Chinese cash in, and the Indians and Saudis, and then the U.S. doesn't have. So they're going to get killed because they don't have any gold. Why they don't have any gold at this point is beyond me. But that's just when you have idiots in charge, that's what you get. So that's what the fight is, right? You're fighting the government who are doing these derivatives by JP Morgan to keep the price down. That's what you're frustrated with. It's all paper. You're not frustrated with the physical price of gold because there isn't one. Nobody fucking made a physical price of gold. I can't believe it. There's no, there's nothing out there. And that's why you're frustrated, is because you're watching the paper price and you're able to buy this so cheap. Even if you bought it today at 24.30 or 24.40, it's nothing. I mean, it's a joke. So don't think of it in terms of why you're fighting the U.S. government. So you know it's going to be a fight, but you know you're going to win a fight very soon in October. Here comes BRICS, and they want to do it before the election. They want to teach the U.S. a lesson because of the stupid war. So yes, of course you're getting frustrated with the weight because your expectations are this is going to happen tomorrow. And we thought it was going to happen in April when they rolled out the gold-backed currency, but it apparently is going to be rolled out in October. We hope, we believe so. So that's why you can't really wait. You can't. It's when it happens, right? It's like when you gave birth to your kid. You can't. Oh, it's going to be at midnight. No, and it didn't come at midnight. You can't. It's just whenever the baby comes, the baby comes. Whenever the baby comes, and we go to 10 grand, the baby comes. We know the baby's going to come. We know the goal is going to 10 grand. That's what you got to keep the focus on. We have all the reasons. We know this is going to zero, like every other currency that you fucked around and printed has gone to zero. Go ask the Romans. So with that in mind, you know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. So be patient. You've made the right move. You've gotten out of dollars. You're in the gold and silver. You did everything right. Now you just wait for it. Believe me, you're 10,000 is very conservative. And see, once it's running, think of the Titanic. Once everybody realized that the ship was sinking, what did they do? There was a mass scramble to get to the lifeboats. Once people realize that this is worthless, there's going to be a mass scramble to buy this, and the price will go up. And it was like the Boston game yesterday. The tickets were very expensive because there was more demand than there were tickets. And that's what you're going to have with gold. There's way more demand than there is physical ounces, which is going to knock the price way up there. So we know it's coming. This is not an opinion. This is fact. We know what happens when you overprint the dollar. We've seen it from Rome all the way to England. We've seen Venezuela and Zimbabwe and Germany print and print and print, and their money's worthless. So we know the way the story ends. So it's just, do you want to be in this? Here's your alternative. I'm in this or I'm in this. Where do you want to be? And you want to be in this. So you're fine. You have made the right choice. You made the winning bet. It's just, it's just going to take a little bit. Let's assume October, but probably before then it'll start going up and up and up. I think the new system will be implemented with the new president. What new system? The U.S. or BRICS? BRICS is coming in October before it. The U.S., we really need the gold standard or we're fucked, but we don't have any gold for the gold standard, so we're fucked anyway. So we'll be fine with our gold until we figure out what the new system is. And prior to the crash will have to happen. Well, it's already crashing. They just don't tell you it's crashing. Do you think this has a value? I mean, this is worthless right now, but who's telling you besides me? Nobody, because nobody understands the bullshit. But it's worthless, right? Egon will tell you it's 99% gone. I'm telling you it's 100% gone. But that's why we have gold and silver. I've been hearing it until the cows come home. So now you're a farmer? I believe it. Nothing is happening. It seems frustrating. See, but your timeline's skewed. You think it's going to happen today, which is why you're frustrated. It's like me with Daria. I go 4 days without hearing from her. I get frustrated. Where the fuck is she? Can't she just text me? So now I'm at the point where after a couple of days, I know she's working. I know the way she is. She doesn't tell me. And so I text her the first few days. I didn't text her yesterday or today. And I finally get a text from her just before class. I'm home. I'm fine. I've been working. How frustrating was I going, well, you can't fucking take 30 seconds. She takes a bus home on the bus coming home that you can't say, oh, I'm fine. I was working. How are you? So, I mean, we all get frustrated and we all got to figure out ways to cope with it. So now the way I don't get frustrated is I don't text her. I'll text her Saturday and Sunday. When I didn't hear Monday, I didn't text her. And I didn't text her today just to say I was interviewing. And then she gets, oh, I really do love you. I've been working. And I'm like, then fucking give me a 30-second text. I'm working. Because I get frustrated. So, but it's how to deal with it. So if I don't text her and I wait for her to text me, I don't get frustrated. So you need to figure out, well, if I'm in dollars, I'm fucked. If you're in the stock market, most of the stocks are down. You're in the one and only thing you can be in that is not going to lose and going to go up 100 times, and that's gold and silver. So you're in the right situation. You're just in a hurry to buy a house, but I get it, but just be patient. It's coming. It's just, you need to wait. Let's see what happens by October. Hopefully before that, it should start rolling because people will start realizing what's going on and get the fuck out of the dollar, get in the gold. And we got to hope that COMEX breaks out because they don't have any more gold to do the derivatives with. And that's ending very soon. Yeah, I know. Don't be frustrated. You've made the right move. Just just go play golf or something, or tennis. We need a BRICS PR announcement that Americans can hear and won't be covered up by the MSN. Well, I'm doing it right now. I yell it every day. BRICS gold-backed currency. I show Mark McGuire. I don't know what else to do, but I say it and I back it up with proof. And that's what's happening. We know the BRICS. We know there's now 40 more countries wanting to join, including South Korea, Indonesia. I mean, some big hitters. Argentina's starting to rethink it and going, yeah, maybe we don't want to be in the dollar. And so as that's happening, it's really Saudi Arabia, I think, holds the key because of all the oil, and they want to get paid in gold. I think you're going to see gold pretty quickly here. You smell war. Well, we got two wars going on right now between the U.S. and Russia, and the U.S. Against Hamas and Iran, and those. So there's two wars going on, but that doesn't solve anything. They're very costly. So I don't see any point of having a war because you got massive inflation and a recession. I really don't know what a war does. All it does is cost a lot of money, cost a lot of lives. The Ukraine army is shooting younger kids who are trying to escape to Hungary or Poland. So they get to like Jenna, when she met in Barcelona, she takes the train from her city in the Ukraine to the Lviv, which is the Polish border. And then she crosses into Poland, and then she takes a bus and gets to the airport and flies to wherever, Barcelona at the time. And so if there's kids, they're actually, the army doesn't want to fight Russians, will fight their own people. So they're like shooting people who are trying to escape. Why is there even a war going on? Now I heard there's a bunch of like trillions of dollars of minerals and oil in the Ukraine. And that's really what this war is about, which I knew there was a lot of oil in the Ukraine before and a lot of food and fertile. But that makes sense. The U.S., fighting for that. It's probably the guy from BlackRock leading the charge. Oh, we got to get the minerals. We got to get the oil. U.S. will be gold standard. I think have the gold, as I've mentioned. I'm missing. What am I missing? I think we have the gold, as I've mentioned. So you think there's gold in them there at Fort Knox, and I don't, because I think if I said I have gold and you'd say prove it, and I'd go, here it is. So why doesn't the U.S. show their gold? If they have any gold in Fort Knox, it's rehypothecated or sold to China. So it's not their gold in Fort Knox. We'll find out, because we need the gold standard to compete with BRICS and their gold standard. Nobody's going to want this shit. This is worthless. Nobody's going to accept it. The only way anybody will accept anything from the U.S. is it's got to be backed by gold. So we will find out the correct answer of you think we have gold and I don't. And we'll see very quickly. Now, the bullion banks have gold? I don't think so. Like JP Morgan and what's the other one? Bank of America. There's a couple more banks. Do you think they have gold? I don't know. I think they just use it for this derivative bullshit. I think they have paper gold. I don't think they have real gold. Most of the gold's in China. As he said, the public is buying the gold, putting it in their bank accounts. There's like a billion people, and there's no stocks to buy in China because they're crooked, and there's no housing because it all collapsed. So the only thing these people can buy is gold, and it's getting expensive. So now they're buying silver. Well, if they're buying it and the demand goes up, price goes up. So where is the U.S.'s gold? Or what are we waiting for? We got a $35 trillion debt. What are we waiting for to say, we're going to revalue our gold at 10,000 an ounce and pay off our debt? Where's that? Why aren't we doing that? Because we're spending $1 trillion a quarter, or $1.5 trillion the interest on the fucking debt. We're the only ones who can have debt on ourselves, right? So, okay, where is it? Why aren't we using the ace in the hole, right? That's your ace of spades. Where is it? Luke, why would we show our gold? Why would we show our gold when we've had the reserve currency all this time? Because the reserve currency is worthless. We printed 150 trillion. It's worthless. We have a $36 trillion debt. The fact we have a reserve currency doesn't mean the debt's not there. It doesn't mean we printed 150 trillion of this, so it's basically worthless. So we have a reserve currency worth zero. You're better off with monopoly money. Why aren't you taking the gold to pay off the debt? You can't just say, well, you know what, we'll just cancel the debt. You can't do that because we owe other countries and as well as our T-bills. And then, so they'll all default. Let's say you got a T-bill, it's going to default. They're going to default on you. So why are you waiting? If you have the gold, what are you waiting for to announce and revalue it? Why is it like what, $35 an ounce on the books? So at what point would you say it? And again, the reserve currency is only because of the petrodollar where you have to buy oil with dollars. Well, what does that got to do with the debt and the fact you have gold or not? The BRICS is going to be the new reserve currency. It's backed by gold, just like ours used to be. So that to me is the point. It's you are the reserve because you were backed by gold. And when you stop being backed by gold, you really aren't the reserve, but you made this scam where you said, I'll make everybody buy oil in US dollars. That's the Ponzi scheme. And that's over. And now Saudi's saying, we'll take it from anybody. But, we really want gold-backed currency because we want gold. We don't really want paper. So give Saudi some credit there. I like the Saudi uniform with the thing over the head and the thing. I think they should come in different colors, like a home and a road jersey. Where's Bobby? I just bought 18 tickets today to the Pirates game for our whole family in August. I'll buy another seat and he can sit with us. I don't know where Bobby is. I haven't heard of Bobby since that time that you were on and he was on about a month ago or so. I don't see him. I haven't heard from him. Now, I never had his email. He never gave me his email. So I don't really know where he is. He loved the economics, so it really is confusing, especially with all going on in bricks and gold, where he is. I do know he does listen like you did. Even when he's not in class, he tends to turn it on. But I don't know. I assume he'll be back for college football, but all I can do is say I don't really know. And we'll just wait, but I haven't seen it. Who are the Pirates playing? Should be good. They got a good pitcher, I see, the new pitcher. So anyway, don't get frustrated. You've made the right decision. It's like betting on the Steelers, and they're going to win, but they're down 10-0. But they're going to. This is the 74 Steelers. They're going to win, but they're down. Or like in the Super Bowl against Dallas, and they were down 10-3 or whatever, and then they 10-6, and then they got a safety, and eventually they won 21-17. Well, you knew they were going to win, but it wasn't. They didn't get out to a 21-0 lead, unfortunately. But that's you've made the right move. It's just a matter of sometimes you just got to wait for it. But what's your alternative? Selling your gold and getting back into this crap? I don't think so. We know BRICS is coming out with the gold-backed currency. Check. We know this is worthless. Check. So what are your options? You don't really have options. So instead of getting frustrated, you should be happy you made the right decision and off you go. And I know you want to buy a house, but you can't buy one now with the high interest rates and the inflation. So you want to take two of these and buy a house is what you want to do. So anyway, that's think it through logically, and you're fine. You've made the right decision. There's no other decision you can make. You're gonna stay in dollars, if you're back in Bitcoin, it's dollars, and Bitcoin's down 3,000 today to 64,000. So even whatever, I mean, that's still in dollars. Here, at least you're out of dollars. With the gold and silver, you're out of the dollar. Nobody knows you have it. You're in the best position. No interest expense. Nobody can garnish your gold and silver because they don't know you have it. So you're fine. Okay, let's focus on October brics. And in the meantime, let's see what happens with the gold and silver. But understanding it's derivative, it's not physical. It's got nothing to do with buying and selling gold. Nobody's selling gold. So it's just the derivatives. They're just playing a game of buying it at 2,400. They're selling it at 2,400 to buy it at 2,340. And then we saw it went up to 2,400. So we know we're expecting at least 3,000 on its way to 5,000. But I think once it starts and the derivatives are gone, it's just going to go up. Once you get rid of the derivatives in COMEX, there is no down because nobody in the right mind selling it. So if you understand that and you think like that, you're going, nobody else is selling it. Why would I sell it? Why isn't it 10,000? Well, we know it's going there. So you just it's like the over in the USC games where it's going to be a 90-point game and you're just waiting for more touchdowns. They're playing Seattle. Paul Skeens he looked good yesterday. I think we're positioned good with our physical. Yeah, well, that's what I keep trying to tell you. And that's why I bring up the attack on Wall Street. The army guy, the security guy, instead of buying gold with his $60,000, he bought real estate trust. The real estate market crashed. Next thing you know, all his 60,000s were zero. But if he would have bought gold, it would have been worth 110,000, and he could never have lost with it. This is what you've got to understand. This is a bet you can't lose. This is a lock. There is no way. It's like going to the Pirate game and they're going to win. They're going to win. I mean, that's basically what it is. They're going to win. The gold is you can't lose with it. I mean, there's no way you can lose. The demand's too strong. The only thing you're going to do is lose with this, right? This is your alternative. I stay in the Roman money and I lose it all, or I go into the gold and I can't lose. So that's your option. You can't lose in gold and silver. Silver's way down and it should jump, but okay, that's going to take a while. I get that. What reality is we're dealing with paper derivatives, not eBay physical. We're not dealing with what's the market value on the Mahomes card without options, right? That's what we're dealing. That's where we want to get to is a real price on eBay of physical gold and silver. That's what we want to get, but we're not there. We're in this paper COMEX world where the price isn't close, but it's unbelievable. There is no mechanism to price physical gold and silver. How can there not be a fucking physical gold and silver price mechanism? eBay is, but the problem with eBay is they just look at the spot. And so they're using the physical as the guide they're using the paper as a guide to the physical. That's how screwed up eBay is. So you're not getting a real price there either. They're just going, oh, the spot's this and that. So I was in my store, like I said today, and I got all these to put my maple leaves in, to put them into here. So I'm preparing for my trip to Switzerland and having this in my pocket. and then seeing Egon say, okay, what can I get for 14 ounces of maple leaves? Yeah, I mean, I buy more and more and more. I just bought this. I just bought this was 641. This is a maple leaf. What I'm seeing is and hearing at my gold stores, people think like the 1099, if you buy American, you won't get 1099. But if you buy the maple leaf or the Krugerrand, you will. So he's putting this big premium on US because the demand, people only want US because they think it won't get taxed on it. And I'm like, this is 1 ounce of gold all day, all night. It's a maple leaf. I don't give a fuck who made it. It's 1 ounce of gold. That's what I give a fuck about. So are they going to tax me? I don't know. I tried checking 1099 taxes, and all I can say is initially, if it was foreign, it wasn't going to be taxed. Then I see the US is not going to be taxed. And then I see if you have quarter ounces, half ounces, it's not going to be taxed. I have no idea. But the reason they want to tax it is because they're saying this is a collectible. How in God's name is this a collectible? I'm buying money. I'm not buying a collectible. So how are you going to tax me? You can't tax money. So this will be a big war going on. But we might be in Barcelona cashing it out. I wouldn't be surprised to see a revaluation overnight. Well, I think that's what BRICS is planning on doing in Saudi Arabia. That's what they want. But if you think that this is 2,300 and that's it, I mean, I agree with you, 20, 25,000. BRICS will have to come back at 20, 25,000 because they can't, how much can they print, right? So they don't want to hold down how much they can print. And it sounds like they're going to make it 40 or 50% of the dollar gold back, not the whole 100%. So again, they'll want a high gold price and they want to print a lot. But again, BRICS is for all these countries and more countries. There's like 97 countries going to this Kazan summit for like an Olympics, like a BRICS Olympics. So 97 countries are going just to hear about it and to see if they want to join. Well, fellas, it's a gold-backed currency if you want to join, which is why everybody wants to join. He who has the gold wins, and that's where we're at. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. Income tax would be abolished. That will pay. Income tax would be abolished. I assume tariffs will pay for government or gold standard coming. If we have the gold, they have no other choice. Their hands made. They have to admit MMT is Keynesian, doesn't work, which we know it doesn't work. How you think you can keep printing money and it won't hurt the value? You got to be out of your mind. It's like saying, go ahead and eat a chocolate pie every day. Oh, no, you won't gain any weight. You won't get sick. You won't have diabetes. Nah, eat a chocolate pie every day. Everything will be right. I mean, that's basically what they're saying. So the idiots who believe that you can keep printing to pay for the debt are exactly what they are. They're idiots. They're all Soros people. Because he wants to destroy America. So that's the way. You can't defeat it militarily. We're too big. So you got to do it from within, which is ruining the currency. That's how you win. So it's chess. You've captured the king by killing the currency, and that's where they're at. However, we're smart enough to see what's happening, get out of the currency and into gold, and you can't fuck with gold because you can't print it. Never forget that. Because you can't print it, it never loses its value. That's why it's been around since before the Romans and still going strong. But everybody, it's funny how all these civilizations come out with paper dollars. And they'll start with gold back and then they go to war for some reason. And then when they go to war, they got to sell their gold, and then that's it. And then that's what happened to France with Napoleon and England, World War One, and it's happening. Well, with us, we're just idiots and got out of it in 1971. But that's really what you have. So basically, you can never anytime you see this and it's not backed by gold, it's going to zero every time. So you just stay in gold, and that's it. And you just use the gold to buy the house and to buy the car. And I've been to Toyota, and believe me, I say I'm going to buy a nice car with an ounce of gold. And the guy's going, well, no, you'll have to get the money first. I'm due to go in there soon, and believe me, when I go back in there, he'll start saying, "Yeah, you can give me gold for the Camry." It's just like going to get my barbecue ribs. I can pay him with an ounce of silver. He'll take it. He's smart enough to realize, because I've been teaching him, that it's only going up in price and the dollar's going out. But people won't give it up. So you go to the grocery store and you still see prices in dollars. And I go in and I just laugh. I'm going, why are these people so stupid they take dollars? But I bet what they do is every Friday they take the money to the gold store and buy, a ton of gold with it. At least this is what they should be doing. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm expecting, like you said, 20,000 an ounce. And yeah, tariffs. It's hard for tariffs to pay for the government, because you really want free trade. That's the best thing, is free trade. So if I give you this Mahomes card, there shouldn't be a tariff on it. Oh, yeah, Luke, I got to charge you 10% because it's a tariff. No. This is okay. Here, it's $1,000. You give me $1,000. There's no tariff. It's free trade. You give me the worthless cash, and I give you the valuable card. Here's one you might like, Luke. Here's Barry Bonds. Yeah, he's in a Giant uniform. This one is only 100 count. So, yeah, I probably have one. Yeah, I know I have one in his Pirate jersey. I have this set. This is his rookie set in Dunrose. And I know I have, and he's in a Pirate jersey. Just like Bobby. Here you go, Bobby. Bobby and the Pirates. So Barry's in it too. But that's what you're looking at is, look at your options, right? This is the best part. What you've got to substitute dollars. You got to get out of the dollar before there's zero. So you substitute, and your only substitute's gold and silver. That's what makes sense, because they can't print it. It's the best lifeboat, and we know they're going to go up dramatically. See, everybody's stupid. Well, silver's highest price is $50. Highest paper derivative price, not physical price. That's where I always bark at these people. That's the paper price, $50. Look at gold. It's gone to $24.40. It's an all-time high, and it's in paper. It's not even in physical. That shows you the demand that the Chinese and the Indians have for it. And we know silver, with India wanting to do the solar panels for the world, they need a whole lot of silver. Far more than there probably is. And silver, we know, wears out. Gold doesn't. So what do you think the price of silver is going to be when they start buying tons and tons and tons of silver? That there isn't that much. And it's money. It's not just the industrial metal. So keep that in mind. Well, income tax will be abolished. The dollar will go out. Your mortgage will go to zero. Your car payment will go to zero. Your paycheck will have to be reestablished in whatever the medium of exchange is. Just like the grocery stores and the restaurants will have to change their menus from $10 for a hamburger to, an ounce of, a half ounce of silver for a hamburger. That all has to be done. So this is going to be really interesting when we switch it. But you can't keep the currency because nobody wants it. Or it'll be like Venezuela currency, where $1 billion equals a hot dog. or Zimbabwe, $1 trillion bill equaled a quarter or something. That's where we're headed. So the dollar might be there, but you're going to need a whole lot of them to do it. Or you can have gold and you're fine. So think of it like that, Luke. You're fine with the gold and silver. Well, we all love silver because it's cheap and we all buy it to make money on it. Gold, I think we get out 100 grand out of the bank. We want gold because it's simple. Like I said, I can put 12 ounces in this and walk around and I got 100 grand. And, but silver, it's cheap, but it's only worth $31, $32. And that's the problem, but it's going up and it's going to explode. Once it breaks comex, it's 500 to 1,000 easy. So then you'll be happy once silver starts hitting 1,000 an ounce. Then you'll go, yeah, I should have bought more at $30 an hour. What's the status quo on your job? Well, I had my 4th interview. This company's called Dexo. They buy a lot of. You ever hear of a company called Brookfield? They're like a investment company. So this company Brookfield bought it. Anyway, I've had an interview with the VP, an interview with the CFO, an interview with this director of finance, and an interview with the hiring manager. There's 2 positions. So let's call it Diet Coke and regular Coke. So I've interviewed with the VP over Diet Coke and regular Coke. I've then interviewed with the CFO and the hiring manager of Diet Coke. Today I met with the director of Coke, and then soon I'll meet with the treasury manager. So it's like a FP&A and treasury job, the Coke one. So I met with 2 in the Diet Coke, and now I'm going to meet with 2 in the Coke. So I had the 4th interview today, and I kind of joked with them like, this is the 4th interview I've had. And according to my recruiter, they're separate. Like if Diet Coke wants to hire me, then that's it. But they haven't pulled the string yet. And now Coke's interviewing me. And I think Coke's stepping in saying, let me interview him before you guys hire him. So they're fighting over me, basically. In the meantime, I still don't have a job. But I had the interview today. I'll have another one probably soon with the treasury manager. And then probably around Labor Day, probably around 4th of July, I'll probably start right after it. In the meantime, I'm looking to, I want to go, Jenna wants to go to Greece. There's some island there. Have you ever heard of this? This is, it's a nice island. It's, it's Kalfana, Greece. It's an island in Greece that she likes. It's probably a nice island, or some island in Spain. So she wants to go there, which I want to go like in 2 or 3 weeks. Daria, I'm double checking, like, because with her, she can't leave the daughter alone. The mother's got to come. Well, if the mother's flying, I got to go with her. But she hasn't given me the yes yet. The last thing I want to do is I can't meet them both. I suppose the worst case, I can go to Greece and then Daria, I'll go to Serbia or Turkey because it's the only place she can go to, being Russian, where Daria or Jenna can go anywhere because she's Ukrainian, but the Russians can't go to the NATO countries. So that's where I'm at with her. But she's waiting for the mother, who's probably doesn't know what to do with the war. So that's where I'm at with that. So I want to get this vacation in right around 4th of July, which is a few weeks away. So that's the idea. Never been to Greece. Looks beautiful. Morocco and Spain. The Spain one she wants to go to. Jenna, Spain. Just a second. She gave me 2 options. Hold on. She's having allergy attacks and it's hard for her to breathe. I'm wondering if the Russians are spraying something in the air in the Ukraine that's getting people sick. Where is it? You want to go to Lloret de Mar, Costa Bravo in Spain, or Kefalona in Greece. And I showed you Kefalona. So it's Lloret de Mar or Costa Brava in Spain. So it's probably nice islands. Probably Natasha, her friend, probably, I haven't taken you there. Let me write that down. So Costa Brava. So we've been to Spain. Well, you saw me in Barcelona, but this would be better on an island. So that's what we're waiting on. But I think, if I know I get the job, that's one thing. Now, here's one for you that I don't think you'll believe. So I get an email from my brother's friend who's an attorney trying to find my address so they can send me. My mom has passed away, which nobody told me back in October. She left a trust. So there was a partial payment of $1,200 that I got that they were trying to find me so I could sign off on the papers. And then they were going to mail me the check, but they didn't have the address. So finally we got the address. So I got the $1,200. So I don't know what the full payment is, but I'm thinking if you got a trust, I'm thinking you got some money in a trust. Otherwise you'd give me, here's $5,000 and off you go. And I got a brother and a sister, so we'll split it. But so, well, she does play tennis. So anyway, so I find out my mom died. Nobody tells me. The attorney tells me, and now there's a unclaimed property that we're trying to get that apparently runs out the end of June, which is value. That's money in, and then once that's settled, then she'll have a figure, and then she'll pay out. I don't even know what to expect. I mean, I was $1,200 on a partial payment. So what does a full payment look like? So I don't know. It's going to buy gold, whatever it is. I'm hoping for, a good chunk of change, but I want to be realistic. So I'm hoping for $5,000. I'm thinking it's maybe $35,000, but I don't know. So we'll find out in a month or so. And that'll help on the vacation. If I know I got that and I know I got the job, then, we'll go to either place. But so Rafael Nadal lives in Melocora, and then I'm talking about Costa Bravo. So I don't know, but I'm excited to go either place. But I got to wait for Derek because I got to meet her first. I haven't met her. Jenna, I've met a lot, and I do want to give her a vacation and get to know each other face to face and not on the internet or on WhatsApp. So pending on her mother. So if her mother's coming, then I won't meet Jenna right away, and then I'll meet her maybe in September. And if the mother's not coming, I'll meet Jenna, and then wait for the mother to come, and then meet Daria. So it's a good job. The pays really well, and I got two teams fighting over me. The Diet Cokes and the Cokes are fighting over me. And the job's not too difficult. So we will say I had a very short interview. The guy just wanted to talk to me and kind of get to know me, because the VP had already liked me. So this is the guy under the VP. So I'm sure the VP's like, we got to hire Howard. So either you're hiring him, either Coke's hiring him or the Diet Coke. So I'm excited either way, but it's taking forever. Here I thought it would be right after the Monday interview 2 weeks ago, and I still have one more interview to do with the Treasury manager, which is fine. I said, what do you got to do with Treasury? I go, I like money. I didn't get into gold because I'm always scared on an interview to get into gold. I'm not sure how the people will take it, but I says, well, I like money and I like analyzing. I says, it's all the same. So that's where I'm at with that. So it'll either be Greece or Spain. Greece is supposed to be very beautiful, but I'm worried we're getting into July. It's going to be too hot. I'd rather go to Greece September, October, but we'll see. But I'd like to go before I start, or, I can always say I got a vacation planned. I'll start next week. Nobody cares the first week or two. And they're taking their sweet ass time on this. I probably interviewed with the VP like a month ago now, and I'm still not working. Mr. Crazy, who is this? Welcome to our class. Stopping by to say hello. We'll watch later. Oh, well, hello, Mr. Crazy. And yeah, we're doing baseball, and we're doing a lot of gold and brics and things like that. So yeah, feel free to. Any questions, comments, let me know. But I really wouldn't worry too much about the gold price, because your alternative is you're buying dollars. I mean, I got to get out of dollars. So it's a real no-brainer. I mean, yeah, of course we all want the price, but think about it this way. You want to buy more gold and silver, right? So let's say you want to buy more silver. It's $31 an ounce. You can get it for $31 an ounce. Had the price done what it should have done, if there was no comex and the price would be at market, you'd be paying $1,000 for silver and $10,000 for gold right now. So you can get out of the dollar because they're holding the price down for us inversely. So they want the price low for the dollar, but for us, it's a steal because we're getting these prices so cheap, it's ridiculous. That's how you got to look at it. So by having the low, you can buy more, right? You're never going to see silver at 30 an ounce anymore. When it hits 1,000 an ounce, you're never going to see 30. You're never going to see gold at 2,300 anymore. So because they're low, and I'm seeing the premiums go up and up and up, especially on the U.S. stuff, because of tax purposes, everybody thinks that. And I said, I'll take all the Maple Leafs and Krugerrands you want to give me. I am perfectly fine holding an ounce of gold. I don't give a shit if it's got a Maple Leaf or a Krugerrand or the Philharmonics or an Eagle. I don't care what it's got on it. It's an ounce of gold. That's all I care about. So think of it like that. So all of a sudden there is a silver lining to this cloud, which is, shit, I can buy silver at $30 an ounce. And that's huge because we're looking at physical, not paper. All right, let's go to baseball. Games are starting to go. All right, Baltimore and the Yankees. The Yankees are minus 140 and 9. Albert Suarez for Baltimore, 3-0 to 161. Nestor Cortez, 3-5 with a 3.59. This is the toss-up. Do we take Baltimore with the good pitcher who is a reliever who's starting to start, or Cortez who's 3-5 with it? So let's take Baltimore. We'll play something. Boston and Toronto. Tanner Houck 7-5 with the 208 against Chris Bassett for Toronto. 6-6 at the 3.56. So we'll go Boston. Luke, it's all going to crash soon. Gold will sort. Well, exactly. You know the dollar's going out because these idiots are printing it. There's a $35 trillion debt with a $1.6 trillion in interest every 100 days. It's not hard to figure what's going to happen. Therefore, if you know that's what's going to happen, it's not really difficult. Of course, it's going to crash. And of course, everybody runs off the Titanic, wants the lifeboat, right? So you see the boat's going to sink and you're going to go to the bottom of the Atlantic. So what do? You there's the mass jump to get onto a lifeboat. Well, that's what you're having here. You know the dollar's going out. You can't have a $35 trillion debt, $36 trillion, $1 trillion a quarter in interest, which is more like $1.5 trillion. Where are we going? I mean, the boat's sinking. Like I said, the problem is you never see the price of the dollar. You never know that this is worth 1 cent. They never show it to you. They show you the gold price. This is 23.33. They show you this, but they don't show you that this is worth 1 cent. And if they did, there wouldn't be anybody in a dollar. See, nobody realizes the dollar's crashed and worthless. Nobody realizes it except for us. And that's the key. It's worthless and gold's going up. It's a no-brainer. And you're allowed, because of these morons, to get the gold and silver dirt cheap. That's really the key to it. Once you realize that, now you're like, okay, now I get it. It's going, takes a while. Okay. The U.S., it's like trying to keep the Titanic floating. We know it's sinking, but let's start bailing the water out. Maybe that'll help. And that's the U.S. right now. Maybe they can bail the water out from the Titanic, but we know they can't. Yeah, gold will. Well, we know gold and silver are going to go through the roof because you can't print them. See, we got the understanding you can't print gold and silver. That's why they won't go down. And the demand for gold and silver, because they can't print it, will go up because people will realize, shit, the dollar's going, the euro's going, the British pound's going. Every piece of paper dollar will go in the West. And what's BRICS doing? They're all buying gold because they know that can't go down. China's got like 65,000 tons of it with the public and behind the screen, not central bank. I love when these idiots talk central bank. How about the rest of the banks and everything else? Like Russia, you think Putin's got gold in the central bank? He's got 30,000 tons of it. It's probably in his swimming pool and among his houses. They don't keep it in a central bank. Russia's got 2,000 tons of it. Yeah, my ass, they got 2,000. All right. Time's running out. Let's see. So we took Boston and Baltimore, Detroit and Atlanta. Detroit's 165-9, or Atlanta's 165-9. KC Mize 1-4 to 4.43. Aaron Schnellenbach 0-2 with the. So we're going to go over 9 here. Atlanta over 9. Tampa Bay, Minnesota. Minnesota minus 185, 8.5. Aaron Chevalier 2-5 with a 5.20. Pablo Lopez 6-6. So we got to go over here. Minnesota over 8.5. And we're going to play this for 7 units. Let's go with we'll go Baltimore for 3 units. Boston. Yeah, Boston for 3. All right. The Mets and Texas played a wild one yesterday. Mets are 125 favorite, 8.5. Luis Severino 4-2 with a 3.12 against Michael Lorenzen 4-3 with a 2.86. Do we play the game under because of the low ERAs, or are we going to get fucked by the bullpen? Hard to say. I'm going to pass on it. The 49ers and the Bears play. Who won yesterday? I think the Niners won like 10-9. The game was 3-2, and they scored 10 runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning combined, the two teams. Logan Webb for the Niners, 6-5, 302. Justin Steele, 0-3 with the 3.22. Over under 9.5 at Wrigley. I don't know. I got to pass on this one. Houston and the White Sox. Houston 175. I don't know what happened. Verlander didn't pitch Saturday. The other guy throws a no-hitter, and they pull him after 7. Framber Valdez, 5-4 with the 3.99 against Jonathan Cannon, 0-1 with the 4.56. If I were to bet the team, I would bet Houston. So I'm going to play Houston. The Dodgers, Colorado. The Dodgers 190-11. Walker Buehler 1-4 at the 4.64. Austin Comer 1-4 at the 4. So 2 pathetics. I'd say over 11. Milwaukee in California, Tobias Myers 3-2 with the 3.76. Griffin Canning 2-7 with the 4.76. I have no idea. 2 big pitchers. And KC and Oakland, the AFC West matchup. KC's minus 130-8. Alex Marsh for KC, 5-3 at the 3.63. Hulk Hogan, 0-0 with a 2.49. He pitched. Let's see what he's a new one we just discovered. There's a Brian Wu. I went on Ric Flair's Twitter, and he makes some comment, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And I said, nobody cares, Rick. And then I said, by the way, there's this pitcher, Brian Wu, on Seattle, and he's been pitching good. I'm waiting for a comment on him, Mr. Wu, and Ric Flair, Mr. Wu. So it'd be interesting if I get anything. All right, we have my guy. Hulk Hogan. He's pitched 5 games, 5 innings, 3 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings, 5 innings. Gave up 2 runs, 0, 3 runs, 0, 4 runs. What are you going to get? The 0 or the runs? So he's not. He only pitches 5 innings. Jesus Christ, St. Louis. St. Louis is already up 6-4 over Miami. So KC, Oakland, Mr. Wu. I don't know. I'm passing on that. There really wasn't a lot of good pitching matchups. The earlier games, the only one I would have taken is probably Philadelphia. I think I did take Philly. And that's it. St. Louis, Miami, you would think would be low scoring at 6-4 in the 3rd inning. Seattle, Cleveland, scoreless after 2. San Diego, Philly, scoreless after 2. Cincinnati, Pitt. Are you going to the Pitt game tonight, Luke? They're in the bottom of the 2nd. And Arizona and Washington, 2-0 Arizona against the Redskins. And Baltimore, New York's just started. Hope you got your Baltimore bet in. And that's it. The NBA was a joke. Boston kills them by 18 points. I don't know. Luca Brasi fixed game 3. I don't know if he fixed yesterday's. They were just terrible. Well, back to you, Luke. Well, it's got to crash because I'm sure the Romans didn't think their dollar would crash, or the Brits, or the Napoleon, or any of those guys. You never think the dollar is going to crash. But what do you notice? The Romans had corruption. The French had corruption, Robespierre and the other guy from the movie and Les Miserables. So you always have the corrupt people. England was very corrupt, and then they had the war. Germany was fucked with World War I. They had to pay it back. That's where they got hyperinflation. The U.S., extremely corrupt. So I think what happens is as you go to gold, you make a lot of money. And it's sort of like people like losing more than they like winning. So when you're winning, you want to give it back. So as you become rich from the gold, the corruption comes in, and all of a sudden people are undermining it, like George Soros. And destroys your country, which is what's happening here. It's being undermined because we're so wealthy. Where's the gold? Why don't we have 40,000 tons of gold like the Chinese? No, we don't believe in gold. Well, gold's the reason that we're prosperous in the first place. It's the gold. That's what did it. How do you think we became the number one, the Alabama of the world? Is because of the gold. Well, let's call it the Georgia now. So that's the point. Now that you have that, that's the point. But then it's too hard to be there. So all the evil forces come on, like the dragon Smog, and they take the gold. And that's, I think, what happens. So as you become rich and powerful, you can't handle it, and then all the criminals come in and take it. I firmly believe the Chinese are running the U.S. because they're the ones who benefit from us collapsing, and probably the Russians have a few people over here, would be my guess, and that's why we're collapsing, because it's corrupt. It's so corrupt, it's ridiculous. The military is running the country. Yeah, let's have a war with Russia that lasts for 10 years, and what the hell? So I just hope I hope Jenna's okay, because I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, she's having trouble breathing and asthma, and she's allergic to something, and they want her to take pills and shot. I guess she's got to take a shot, injection, she called it, and she needs 10 injections or something. So she's supposed to start that tomorrow. But in the middle of the night, she'll text me, I can't breathe, or I'm doing this. I'm going to the emergency room. I think it's from the war, but anyway, who knows what they're doing to the water? But you feel bad for her, but you won't leave it. I invited her here several times. She won't come. There's nothing I can do. So I take her to Barcelona, or I take her to Lisbon, or I take her to Berlin, or wherever that she wants to go. But it's a week or 8-9 days. It's not enough to, then she got to go back to the war. She has to take a 20-hour train ride to get from her city in the Ukraine to Poland, to the Polish border, which is Lviv, and then 3 or 4 hours waiting at the border to cross it, and then she's into Poland, another 3 or 4 hour ride to get to the airport. So the poor girl, instead of just flying out of her city, has to do handstands to get the fuck out for a week and then get back on the train. I don't know how she does it. It's exhausting to me, and I don't have to do it. But anyway, I don't know when this stupid war is going to end, but I think it's the excuse of, I think they know the economy is gone, and they know the currency is gone. They know they have this huge debt, and I think they're just going to, don't look at the debt and don't look at the inflation. There is no inflation. Bullshit. You can't measure inflation. There's no price inflation. There's no wage inflation. I hate when people if prices go up, it's called prices going up. Inflation is just strictly printing money. That's it. You printed the dollar to zero. That's inflation. The effect is it takes more dollars to buy stuff, so you think costs are going up, but they're not. So you go to the grocery store, it ain't Cheerios going up or Oreo cookies. It's the value of the dollar dropping. That's all it is. It's very simple. They make it hard because then you won't understand it, and then they can blame Putin for it. But in reality, it's them printing the dollars. So that's why you got the war, so they can make an excuse and blame Putin for the inflation. It's not our fault. It's Putin, and we had to defend Ukraine. Like this isn't even a war. What are you talking about? It's the only war in the history of the world where we have no soldiers there, and we're fighting a war. We're fighting a war using the other army, the other country's army. I love it. I mean, it's insane. It's pure insanity. Yeah, we're going to fight Russia with the Ukrainians. Jesus Christ. Anyway, we're seeing the future. Yeah, well, but we're on the right end of it. This is like me picking football games. We take Mahomes and it wins. And we figured out the variables, and that gets us to picking the winner. And we're seeing the variables here. We know the dollar, first variable, dollar's going out. Second variable, what do we get into? Third variable is things that won't be inflated, which is gold and silver. You can't print it. So that's the logic. It's perfect logic. We know what'll happen. It's always happened. We see BRICS aligning with all the gold that they can get their hands on. Why has China got 60,000 tons of gold now? Why are they telling their citizens to buy gold and silver? Just for the hell of it? They like the colors. I mean, China is preparing. They're already the richest country by a mile because they got all the gold and silver. That's why I love, well, China's economy is in a shambles. Oh, really? You got 60,000 tons of gold and you're worried about your economy? Yeah, somehow I don't think they have any problems, or the Russians with 30,000 tons of it, or the Saudis, or the Indians, or the South Africans. So we will see. Zimbabwe, I don't know. They said they had 2.5 tons of gold, which is basically 32,000 ounces, 64,000 ounces, and 16. So it's 80,000 ounces or 2.5 tons. Then I hear somebody, oh, they only have 1.5, and they're using a basket of other currencies. Look, either on the gold standard or not, but they can only print as many dollars as ounces of gold that they have. They need a higher gold price. So Zimbabwe should have come out with the $20,000 gold price to print more dollars. So they'll try to say, look, the gold standard doesn't work because X, Y, and Z. And believe me, it works. It's the only thing that does work, and we all know it works. But the future is going to be, you won't have a government until you have sound money, because how are you going to pay them? How can the lobbyists pay the corrupt politicians off if they try to give them money and the money's worthless? So I love it. But yeah, it's very bad. It's very corrupt. So as you become rich, you become corrupt, and then you go to zero. And we're going to zero. So keep that in mind. I was showing this Luke Roman guy yesterday, trying to figure him out. And I've determined he's a Keynesian because he talks, like I said, we have 261 million ounces of gold, not 8.5 tons. That's in Fort Knox. He says we have the gold there, but I don't buy it. Okay, let's see it. It's like my cousin Vinny. He says, I got $200. He says, well, show it to me. Fan it out. Let me see that you got 200. Maybe it's a 10 with a bunch of ones. And that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, oh, okay, show me the 8,000 tons of gold. Maybe it's just, 1,000 tons of gold with a bunch of silver, and maybe it's not even our gold. It's China's gold. So fan it out. Show me all the gold that we have in Fort Knox. And good luck with that one. Sorry, you can't see it. And Germany, you want 300 tons. We can pay it in 7 years. You got 8,000 tons there. I want my 300. Sorry, we can't. We really don't have it. I can't pay you, so we'll have to buy it. I guess we'll have to print money and buy it. But the debt is gone. The money's good. The money's worthless. So if you have any signs of what to do, just you realize the money's worthless, and that's about all you need to know. It's, why do I want to hold on to something that's worthless? But the interesting thing is I was still able to use, this is the amazing part. I can still take this that's absolutely worthless and buy this for 640. 640 of this bought me a 1/4 ounce of gold. 640. So it's still able to be used, even though it has no value for this. So that's what we're really taking advantage of that. That's the advantage of the low price, is we can buy more. So if you think of it like that, instead of getting frustrated it hasn't gone up, it's a party that you can buy it this cheap. And I know you bought 2 boxes and a lot of gold, but you can buy more. I mean, if I get a lot of money on my mom's trust, what do you think I'm doing with it? It's going right back here. I don't want it in dollar terms. So if I get $50,000, I don't want it in this. I want it in this. I don't want that much in gold. So that's really, I'll know that in a month, and I know about the job. So I do have money here that I can convert to gold that I'm waiting until I get a job, or all of a sudden this came in the play, this whole trust issue, which I'm like going, oh my God, I get this big, well, I don't know. I assume she's got money, or you don't do a trust, right? If I'm got $5,000 and I'm handing it to my kids, I'm not doing a trust. Here, Billy, here's $5,000. So she must have some money to do a trust, would be my thinking. So we'll see. Luke G seems to be on point. I don't like him. He's a Keynesian. I don't know what his point is. He was asked directly, if you watched my show the other day, I think Sunday, they asked him, well, you seem positive on the U.S. Why are you positive? He couldn't answer the question. If you listen to it, and I showed it, for about 10 minutes, he never answers the question. He reminds me of Peter Schiff and Maloney and Reichert and all those guys, and Andy Scheckman. They ask a question, they can't get a fucking answer. They dance around it. They just say a lot, but they don't say anything. What day is it? Well, it's early now and the sun's out and it's 2:00 and it's this and this. Well, answer the fucking question. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Well, it's Tuesday. So answer the question. See, that's what they're not doing. When you ask Luke G, why are you positive on the dollar? He doesn't even understand the inflation. He doesn't understand the dollar's going out, or to buy gold. What the fuck? Oh, the U.S. dollar's fine, or the U.S. economy's fine. No, it isn't. You got to be kidding me. But when he says, why are you positive on the U.S., he can't give an answer. I showed it to you for like 10 minutes. He danced around the question and said, well, it'll get bad and then it'll get better and then it'll get better. And that's why I'm going to buy it, because it's going to get better. Why is it going to get better? Well, I don't really have an answer except for, well, I know it's going to get better. That was his answer. So I'm not big thrill on him. The only one I really like is Egon and a little bit of Mark McGuire when he's not ring fencing. So I'd be careful with Luke G. He's a Keynesian, so we don't trust those people. Like I said, just stick with Egon and Mark McGuire, really. Even Alligator has been a little bit off form from what he's starting to, answer like some really weird answers. So I'm like, I don't know, Alligator, I'm losing faith in you. Although he did bring me up. He said, the guy asked him about, does the Russian war have any effect on the gold price? And he said, no, because the gold price is determined. It's a derivative market. I've never heard him say this, but I did my class on the derivative market and trading places. And I says, it's a put option goes down and a call option. You call up and you put down. And I said, so all it is at 2,400, they just ran puts and the price went down to 2,300. It was all an option. It had nothing to do with the Federal Reserve or any war or anything else. And he actually said that. I almost fell off my chair. I'm like, oh my God, Alligator listens, but he doesn't, I don't get the credit, but they listen. And they're coming up with Titanic and they're coming up with options. And all of a sudden, so I know they're listening because I'm the only one who's doing this. But but don't give me credit, Alligator. But that's what's happening. So it's a very easy to function, to see what's happening. You print too much and it goes to zero. And that's as simple as I can make it. And you're just searching for other assets and other money that you can't. The only ones you can't are ones that you can't print. That is the bottom line. If you want to eat ice cream and cake, you're going to get fat. But if you don't, you're probably not going to. So what gold is we're not having the sweets, and that's what gold is. We'll keep the value down with gold because you can't print it, and that's really the base of the whole concept of the whole thing of money. It's the whole concept of economics. If it's limited, the value goes up and it'll always be worth something. And the one that you overproduce, so it becomes like this, right? So in a limited world, this is very expensive. They made 50. What's this worth? $1 because they made 1 million of them? This is Reggie Jackson. But it's not numbered. It's not limited. It's worth $1. This is Mahomes, but because there's 50 of them, it's worth, I don't know, a couple $1,000s. Why? Because this is limited and this isn't. So if you just understand that basic concept, if there's more, you then need more demand. So Tom Brady, even his regular cars aren't worth a whole lot, but his limited ones are worth a fortune. That one I show you on eBay is now 10 million. I don't know why he raised the price, but I saw it the other day. It's $10 million for that Tom Brady 10 count. And I'll tell you, I don't think that's enough. But who's going to buy it, right? So eventually it'll be bought by gold. One of these guys with 10 ounces of gold will buy that Brady card worth 10 million. But why would he want dollars for it, right? If I have the Brady card, I don't want this for it. I want I'll tell you what, I want $10 million. So I want, 50 of these or something like that. So that's where we're headed. The gold will be the currency, not the dollar. Right now you have gold priced in dollars. It should be dollars priced in gold, oil priced in gold. Everything should be priced in gold, not in dollars. That's where the fuck up comes in. And then when the dollar goes out, everything's fucked because you've priced everything in dollars. Your Bitcoin, your gold, your oil, your Coca-Cola, it's all priced in dollars. And when the dollar has no value, that's where the inflation comes in. You fuck the dollar up, and then they got to raise prices because the dollar's worthless. That's what they're doing. It's not raising prices. The dollar's worthless. So that's why if you just had gold-backed currency, you'd never have any of this problem. You'd never have unemployment. You'd never have inflation and recessions and all. It would never happen with gold because the money would be fine. The reason it happens is because the dollar gets destroyed. And so all the prices have to go up. And in the marketplace, the higher price means you're fucked. You can't. I had this, I was talking to somebody. Where was I talking? Oh, at the gold store. And the guy behind the counter, I don't really like him though. I like the owner, but I don't really like the salesman. And we're talking about he's talking about prices and I'm talking about the free market. He says, well, they're going to mark the prices up. Everything's going to be priced more. I says, no, only what the market will let it. You can't. Why is your gold sitting in your case? Why is this $640? Why isn't it $6,000? Nobody will buy it for that. That's the market. The market says, I'll give you $640 and I buy it. He's got a half-ounce American Eagle at $13.77. I go, it's too expensive. Well, people are buying it because of the tax implications. I go, you keep that maple leaf at a half ounce at $12.80. I'll be buying that, not the Eagle at $13.77 because of the 1099 bullshit. I'm like, I'm not worried about that. We don't know what it is. I can't read it. Every time I read it, I think if I have foreign currency, I'm safe. And the Eagles, I'm not. If I have fractional currency, I'm safe. So I really don't know what it is. But anyway, that's what you have to do. So the market controls the prices. So like I told him about the ribs, I says, the guy wants to sell his ribs for 45, he can, but he's not going to get any customers. And the guy's like trying to argue with me. Well, I'm sure some people will buy it. I go, well, he'll go from 1,000 customers at $28 to 5 customers at $45. Or maybe the guy comes in every Friday to buy the slab of ribs. He'll come in once a month. His sales will drop because of the prices. We are the market. We control what you can sell for. You can sell Oreos at $5 a bag. That's why you see them. Buy 2 for $7 and it's $3.50 a piece. Why do you think you see it? Because they can't sell it at these higher prices. They can try, but they can't. I was seeing cereal yesterday. It was like $6 for some cereal. I was like, what, are you kidding me? So you got to be careful. You don't have to pay it. You can substitute it by either getting another brand or getting another product. You don't have to get steak. You can get chicken, or you can get a different steak, or you can get a roast or a hamburger. That's what I did. I bought roast and I bought hamburgers, still $5 a pound. And then I got steaks for Father's Day, $12.99, and it was a big 2-pounder. So I had fun cooking that. I still have half of it left. I wonder how much the bone was. Was the bone a pound or what? But that's the whole point. You cannot just make the price the price. You cannot, again, even with gold, that there's going to be it hits 20,000. Are there going to be buyers for it? If not, the price will come down. There's going to be a optimum price where at maybe 20,000 you got buyers, but at 25 you don't. Or they all run to silver at 500, but not at 700. So there'll be different prices that they can charge. But I told the guy, I says, well, why don't they just make gas $20 a gallon? I mean, because the market won't bear it. Like, I don't know. He's an idiot. So if the market doesn't bear it, the market controls what you sell. You're in business to sell. I'm trying to sell my Canadian Club. If I make this $200 for the bottle, nobody's going to buy it. So I got to find a price that people will buy it at. So they can't just, because of inflation, market at $200 a bottle and actually think in my mind somebody's going to buy it, because it's not going to happen. The market controls what you can sell it for. Don't forget that. Oil is a little different because you need to get to work. Although a lot of the jobs are remote, you really don't. You just need to get to the grocery store. But that's why I think you're seeing, so you can really see the damage being done is like Kroger's. Oh, we'll deliver these home deliveries for food and for groceries are because of, I can't afford the gas. So I need food, but I can't afford the gas to drive, or I sold my car or whatever. And that's really what's happening. So you can kind of see it like that. I go, who the fuck DoorDash is? What, you can't go to the grocery store and get tangerines? I mean, that's insanity. But that you can see what's happening. And you can see why when I go to the gold store and the guy has gold, these people need money to pay their bills. They're going to be fit to be tied when gold hits 10,000 an ounce and they sold it at 2,400. They're going to be really pissed. Steaks are 15 a pound. I got it. It was Father's Day. I got a nice ribeye for $12 a pound. It was a 2-pounder. Getting close to your rib guy. Yeah, but I warned the rib guy. He's still $28, right? He's $28 for a slab of ribs. And you get coleslaw and a baked potato or salad and a bread with it. And I've warned them, if you go to 45, just close your doors, because ain't nobody you're going to lose a lot of volume at 45 because the market says 28, not 45. And, so he's still 28. I was just there like a week or two ago. But not all steaks are 15 a pound. There's many different, some are 30 a pound that are like corn, that are grass-fed cows, Piedmont. And then you see some at, see a lot at $11, $12, $13 a pound. So, it's all over the place. And there's so many different types of steaks: the New York strip, the Delmonico, the sirloin. I mean, there's 4 or 5 key brands there that you can get. So you just get what you're at what point. See, that's the beauty of what we'll do with the gold money. We'll be able to get any steak we want. We don't have to look at prices. Most people will be getting hamburger because they won't be able to afford the steaks. But again, you can't make the steaks $50 a pound. Why aren't they 50 a pound? Why are they 15? Because if they charge it, nobody would buy it. Again, that's where the market controls it. The market dictates what you can do. Now, if you go to Morton's for a steak and he charges you $50 or $75, that's up to you to do it. Or you say, shit, I can go to the grocery store for 15 a pound and get 3 steaks for what Morton's is going to charge me. And they're going to burn it because it's all fire, and I'll get it medium well, and it'll be burnt. So I got to get it like rare, so I get it medium. But why would I spend all that money on a steak that I can go to the grocery store and cook myself? Which is what I did Sunday. Anyway, that's how the market controls everything. So you can't just price things in. And if you're trying to move inventory, even me, I can't sell my football picks at $1,000 a weekend. Maybe I'd get one buyer. I don't know, but I try to get a fair price where I get buyers. And but again, I'm trying to figure the market out. So I give you a discount. You know what? I'll go $100 a week because it's got to be worth my while. But then if you buy 4 weeks, it's $300. So I give you a discount. I give you a discount for the year. I do get people who buy the year. Normally, I get a lot of people who buy the month because once they know me, they know my picks are going to be good. And I get the locks. I get lock money, and I get some weekly, and then they turn into monthly, and then I get some yearly guys. And usually, when you're with me for 10 years. I mean, because once you realize I actually can pick games, you found the goose that lays the golden eggs because nobody else can really do it. And then you get all like, okay, good. But that's where it is. It's the market dictates what you can sell it for. And if your costs go up and you can't make profit, you got to go out of business. So if I got Canadian Club, like I say, I use this a lot. So I look at it before I make it. What can I sell it for? Oh, $50 a bottle is the selling price. Can I make it under 50? Yeah, I can make it for 25. Okay, I can make it for 25. I can sell it for 50. I'm going to make $25. Beautiful. I'll make it. But now if my costs go up and now it costs me $65 to make it, but I can't get $90. I can only get 65 to sell it. Inflation, but it cost me 65 to make it. I go out of business. I can't stay in business, and I can't hope, well, I'll just charge 65. If I need to charge 80, but I can't get it, and my cost went to 65, I got to go out of business. That's the problem. You can't just sell it. You can't just raise prices and hope people buy it. So the biggest problem now with the inflation, people can't, they're spending more on their normal stuff. Maybe not gas. I'm not seeing the gas price move much, but food, I go to the grocery store. I'm not seeing a big change in my food bill. But if you eat Cheerios and Oreos and Pop-Tarts, you see a big Kellogg's and those Nabiscos, those guys are really fucking everybody over. They're just killing the price. With me, I eat a lot of vegetables and meat, so I don't see much of a difference, right? And broccoli goes up 10 cents or 20 cents. I'm not seeing the same hit that if I was buying Oreo cookies and Fruit Loops, I would see. But again, it's what you can sell it for. It's what the market will bear and what is your cost. And just because your costs go up, you can't just raise your price, only if there's really no substitute. So I know everybody's going to buy Lucky Charms, so I'm fine with it. Well, they're not going to buy Lucky Charms, or they're going to go buy the Target brand Lucky Charms or the Costco brand Lucky Charms instead of General Mills. That's what tends to happen. So you substitute out of it, and then General Mills starts losing money, and then they got to lower their prices, or they give you a lower, buy two for $7, so it's $3.50 a box instead of the $5.50 we're trying to screw you out of, and that's what tends to happen there. But that's what you do, and it's all what the market will bear. Don't ever forget that. That's why we're successful in this country. It's free market. And in some of these countries, there is no free market. Some of these countries, there's one selection, there's no substitute, and they mark the price. No, it's going to cost $25 for it. They don't use the market. The government tries to control it. That's why it never works, because I'm free to substitute. And instead of steaks, I buy chicken, or I buy hamburgers. Instead of New York strip, I buy London broil. I mean, there's so much movement I have, but that's in a free market. In a communist, where it's going to cost you $20 for a hamburger, or maybe it costs you $10. We price fix it. Let's price fix it so it's cheap, so people can afford it. And the problem is, the guy making it goes out of business because his costs went up, and he needs to sell it higher, but the government won't let him, and so he goes out of business because, well, it's costing me $50 and I can only sell it for $30. I'm losing $20. What's the point? That's not why I'm in business. That happens a lot with the price fixing. Anyway, I think that's about it. So good talk. Luke, welcome back. Nice to see you again. So we will see. I'm still waiting to go to the Capitol Grill and enjoy that soon, probably late summer, early fall. And that's about it. So anyway, most of the baseball started. Hard to say. So I like Colorado over 11, Houston, Mini over 8.5, Atlanta over 9. I'm pretty sure Baltimore and Boston have already started. I like them. And that's about it. So not a big baseball day anyway. Not too many good pitchers. Basketball is over. We're looking forward to football. End of August, college football starts. September, first week in September. NFL. We don't care about soccer. I love when people call it the most popular game. Yeah, because they can't afford footballs and baseballs and hockey, although you'd think they can start getting into basketball. But the difference is, a little guy can play soccer, but a little guy can't play basketball. You need to be 6'8", 6'5", 7 foot to play, which eliminates a lot of 5'9" guys. But the 5'9" guys can golf and play soccer. But in most of these poor countries, they can't afford to play golf, so they don't. They tend to play soccer because it just takes one ball. So 20 kids can kick one soccer ball. It costs them $20, but that's why it's the most popular, because it's the cheapest sport. It really is. It's by far the cheapest. Baseball, you need a mitt and balls and bats, and hockey, you need equipment and ice, and football, you need equipment and a football, and baseball, you need. I think I talked baseball. Basketball, you need a basketball, and you need some baskets, and you got to be 6'5" or higher normally to play it. All right, let's check our gold price out. And at about 8 o'clock, it is at 23.29. It's basically stayed 23.29 since 14 is 2 o'clock. So 12. Since 2 o'clock, it's been at 22, 23.29 area, 23.28, 23.30. Now, what'll happen is this keeps going because then Asia joins and Europe joins. So at about 11 o'clock, at about 22:21, then you'll see it move. Asia's waking up to buy it. So that's what happens. Silver, 29.50. Not too exciting. So anyway, I think that's about it. Don't get frustrated with gold. It's a buying opportunity, not, geez, why isn't the price? The price is staying low. Buy more and more and more. Believe me, when the price goes really high, you'll be really happy. You're going, that's a pretty good idea. I bought more. Even I'm sitting there with over 600 ounces of silver, and I'm going, I could probably buy more. Or my gold, I always want to buy more gold. Excuse me. Getting close to my rib guy. Yeah, well, it's, it's okay. It's still $27 for a slab. And potatoes, baked potato or fries, and coleslaw or salad, and bread. So it's still a full meal for $28, $29. Capital growth for sure. Let's do it. Sounds good. Looking forward to that. That shouldn't be too much farther away. Hopefully Bobby returns. He's like Gandalf. He fought the Balrog and he's at the bottom, and then he's got to get revived and come back as Gandalf the White. So he'll be Bobby. He'll come back as Bobby the White. He's Bobby the Gray right now. He'll come back when football season starts. I came back at the moment of the war. Anyway, there's a good movie called Deception that I like. It's got Hugh Jackman as the bad guy, and it's got Obi-Wan Kenobi. The current Obi-Wan Kenobi is the good guy. And it's just a rip-off movie where he's trying to steal money from the company. But it's a really good movie. It's Deception, so it's a little bit of that. And the ending's in Madrid, so I was all like, I didn't go there. I went to Barcelona. Why wasn't the ending in Barcelona? But it's nice to see Europe, and it's always nice to see that. So anyway, working on Greece or taking Daria to Serbia. Again, if her mother's flying out, I got to take her. Jenna will be okay. I can probably take her in September. And I'm waiting. I have 4 interviews. I'm going to have a 5th. I got to meet with the Treasury woman. And I'm like, okay, what do I got to interview with the whole company before you hire me? So I've already met with the VP and the CFO. Like, what is the problem here? So anyway, 4 interviews, 1 more coming. Like I said, I'm sure I might get the notice that I'm hired before July 4th, but I would probably start the week after if they're ready to go. Otherwise, it'll be another couple of weeks, which is fine. And then hopefully my mom's trust comes in. And we will see what that's worth. Hopefully it'll be a nice big number. And it'll be hopefully the same number as the gold price. Gold 50,000, trust 50,000. I'd be a happy camper. So anyway, and that's it. So again, plan number 1 is to put this into this, and it's easy to hide. So I'm thinking right now it's in a safe in a bag, but now it's going to be in this, and then really the only thing that won't be in it is my 1 ounce Cougarans and my 1 ounce US they're too big for the tube, but apparently there is a red tube at Walmart I'll check out. And then everything will be in these. It'll be a breeze. So I got 3 because I needed 1 for my silver. I took silver out, so I had to replace the silver, and then I got 2 of these for the maple leaves. And to me, an ounce of gold's an ounce of gold. I really don't care if it's US or that. And if you're buying it for 10, so let me see, I paid 1,700 for an ounce of gold. It's now worth 30,000. Do I really give a fuck about the tax? Am I really worried about the taxes? I don't think so. And again, we don't know the laws. If it's a fractional dollar, it's not taxed. And if it's, US, I don't know if that. So what are they going to tax? Why would they tax the Canadian and not the US? That doesn't make any sense. The Canadians, it's an ounce of gold the same as the US is an ounce of gold. I don't know. I'll try to look into that a little bit more if I can get a feel for it. But as before, it was the Cougar Hand and the Maple Leaf were fine, and it was the U.S. that you were going to get 1099 on because it looked as a collectible, not as money. But we'll see. But I don't care. Give me an ounce of gold, and we'll worry about taxing later. Believe me, when I sell it, nobody will know. It'll be given to Egon, or it'll be given for a house or a car. I don't need to go to the bank to cash it to then take the money to buy something. We don't even know what the money will be. It ain't going to be this crap. So we'll see. And keep it in mind, if they come out with CBDCs, they're not backed by gold, or this and it's not backed by gold, don't buy it. It's worthless. Just buy enough to pay your bills, but keep your gold as long as possible. That's why you buy more. You don't know what you need. And your girlfriends or your wife or your family are going to want it. They're going to need it. That's why you buy extra. I'm giving some to Daria and some to Jenna and just taking care of them. So I know I need extra for them too. Anyway, have a good night. Capital Grill, absolutely. And, gold's going to go so high. It's not an opinion. It's just think about, use logic. You can't print it, and the shit that you're using can be printed, and it's really that this is going out. The value of this is dropping, which is what's making this rise, as well as the demand for this is making this rise. So this is a double that they're not understanding. The economists don't understand, like baseball cards. Why did the Mahomes card go up? Why did the Montana rookie go to 100 and a quarter? Demand. So they're not factoring in. They're going, well, this is going to zero, so this is going down, so this is going up. But this is also Joe Montana demand pushing this up. And they don't seem to understand that price. They get half the concept of, well, if this loses value, it takes more of these dollars to buy it. But they totally are missing the point of, but the demand also pushes the price up. That's the part they're not getting. So anyway, that's about it. I'm going to go. I don't even know. It's 8:00 now. I might nibble on something. Anyway, have a good night. And I don't know. I mean, maybe I should come on later because I'm always running. And then during the day, like today, I had an interview from 11 to 12. And then I got to the gold store to get the containers, and then I went swimming. So maybe this is a better time, but we'll see. But I know you guys can watch it anytime. But I'll try to get on. I don't know. I don't know what's better, 1:00, 3:00, 5:00. I'll play around with it. All right. Enjoy. The gold and silver are cheap. Buy more. Don't get frustrated that they're not more expensive, because when they're more expensive, you're not going to be able to buy it. I was doing this calculation with the trust, and I said, you know what? 2-3 years ago when I started buying gold heavy, I would take 10 grand and I could buy 8 ounces. Now I'm going to take 10 grand and it's roughly 2,500 an ounce. I'm going to get 4 ounces. I'm going to get like 4.5 ounces for 10 grand that I got 8 ounces with it. And pretty soon you're going to take 10 grand and get 2 ounces. And then you're going to take 10 grand and get 1 ounce. And then you're not going to be able to use the money anymore. So keep that in mind. It's still cheap for us. So we need to buy more of it and look at it positively, not frustrating that why isn't it higher? Because when it gets higher, you're going to go, I wish I would have bought more of it when it was cheaper. Well, yeah, I like that saying too. They won't have to work. I tell that to the girls, my girlfriends. I said, you'll never says as soon as gold does what it is, you'll never have to work again. Especially in Russia, she'll never have to work, or Jenna. Jenna is hard to convince. She thinks, well, we have paper money here, and then we use that, and it's fine. We don't need gold. And then gold hits 2,400, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're pretty smart, aren't you?" I'm starting to get it. Daria gets it. She already gets it. The Germans get it. They all buy gold because of what happened with 1920. But it's such a it's going to go up. It can't really go down because it's limited. There's only so much. And the central banks aren't going to start giving up their James Bond gold bars. Those are 400-ounce gold bars. They're not going to give them up. They need it for security. So it's a unique thing that the price goes up, the supply stays. Most of the time, the supply goes up. When the price goes up, they make more, but you can't make more with gold. It's the perfect thing. And I think this whole thing collapsing all the economies is finally going to get gold to its real value, 50, 60,000 an ounce. And we're the guys who will benefit from it. So that's really the whole point of it. So just keep it in a safe place. I would recommend, if you can, buy these littler frames and pop it in here, and nobody will know you have it. You have a bag, people might get it. But if you have this and this goes in your pocket, your front pocket, whatever, ain't nobody gonna. We'll be walking around Switzerland, Luke, with one container of about 15 ounces of gold worth $500,000, and nobody will be the wiser. So that's what I'm thinking ahead, going, yeah, I need to be careful with it. Well, nobody will know I have it. So anyway, I'm going to have fun. I got Maple Leafs to put in here, so I'm going to go enjoy that. Put on a movie or something. And that's about it. So have a nice night. Come on later for sure. Oh, I can come on later. If I ever start working, I'll come on after work. But that's fine. I can probably come on about 4-ish to 6-ish. And then I know, Luke, you come on about 5. But don't be frustrated, Luke, and everybody like Luke. Be positive that you can still get this shit cheap. We know it's so undervalued. That's the point. We understand it's paper gold. We know it's derivatives. It's not physical. We know there's a lot less physical and it's worth a lot more. So if we know that, this is just buying opportunities. Unbelievable. So just understand that this you should be happy it's still cheap, not worrying about it going up, because you know it's going to go up, and then you're going to wish you bought more, because like I said, gold at 10,000, how many are you going to buy? You can buy an ounce, probably a quarter ounce for 2,500. That's why I'm so happy with this. I got this for 640. I'm doing cartwheels out of the store for 640. So keep that in mind. Okay, I'm out of here. And I will talk to you. If you want, just go to www.teaserking.com. My webpage, it's my football page, but you can get my email there. And then if you want to email me on what's brics doing or what's gold doing or whatever, feel free to. So anyway, that's where we're at. Silver 29.52, gold 23.29. On its way up to 10,000. It should hit 3,000 soon. Again, it's just these derivative Eddie Murphy selling to buy cheap. These guys have no idea what they're doing, because they're going to go to sell and there won't be a bottom. It'll go up and then they'll get caught and then they're all done. So I think that's happened to a lot of them. All right, off we go. www.teaserking.com. Go to the homepage. Get my email. Feel free to email me. Okay. Take care, everybody. Football's coming soon. Right now, we'll have fun with gold. All right. Take care. Have a good night.